What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. Middle, center, hello. Good to see you. I'm in the middle center. Politically, spiritually, emotionally, descally. Hi. Good to see you, Shadow. How you doing, man? Hello, Quiz. Hello, Ransom. I think we can chance a little bit more volume. Oh, that's great. Now I can hear it too. How about myself? Today a little bit better. I mean, it's no matter how many times a bad thing happens, you can get used to it, but then sometimes it kicks you in the teeth and you just don't feel very good. And even though you're like, well, I've been down this, I've had this rodeo about a million times or ridden this roller coaster a bunch of times, and so therefore it should be fine. Sometimes it's not fine. Yesterday I wasn't fine. Today I'm doing a lot better. Still not great, but you know what? We got a stream. I got lots to say, stuff I want to talk about, and I think it's gonna be fun. Bro, coming in swinging to himself, just straight up. Sabuko committed Sudoku with a flower. How's the arm? It's funny because like a few days ago, like I'd used this thing. I got one of these, and it's just, and I just beat the heck out of my arm, and I did that for a couple nights, and I took an anti-inflammatory, and then I what else I do? Iced it, something, I don't know. I did some stuff and I wore this for a while. Felt great. I actually was like, am I better? Can I play video games now? And then the last 2 days, likely because I spent 4 hours working yesterday on my computer, and well, actually more. Yeah, no, I spent a bunch of time working on my computer. Probably I just injured it. So yeah, it's worse today, but it was a lot better before. It's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. Last night, I had pain in my wrist, like carpal tunnel pain. And I was like, yay, that's just carpal tunnel. That's not my elbow. That's just normal carpal tunnel pain. But yeah, no, it's, yeah, I know, right? It's exactly it, Shadow. Like it's, as soon as it's like, okay, time to go, let's go. I got things to do. And I've definitely learned that I gotta be careful. I tried to do my left-handed. I really did. It's just really hard. I was trying to do stuff that required a little bit more, everything was 10 times longer. 10 times longer. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Yes, basically when All Might couldn't use his arm. Exactly. I'm secretly this thin, skinny little blonde guy that can barely function on the inside. This is me in All Might mode. So there, how about that? Oh, it's so good. I'm having blue today. That's the flavor and the color. Woke up today. So my kids got me a coffee grinder for Father's Day. And it didn't work. I tried it, fixed it, changed it, did all the things, read all the manuals, I think it was broken. And so I packaged it up, sent it back, and then ordered a different one on there. A bit more compact, didn't have as many good reviews. It still had like 1,000 or 1,400 good reviews. So I'm like, it's gotta be pretty good. Read some more other stuff, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get that one. I think it's gonna be good. Came back, and it is stellar. It works so good. The other one was just dust like crazy, and it didn't grind properly. This one is just 10 out of 10. So I woke up and I had my normal, AeroPress, and then I ground espresso into, and it was very espresso-y, and then I made mocha pot out of it, and it was so good. So good. And now I'm having Rogue. So when I have an anxiety attack later, that's why. It's because I got like 250 milligrams of caffeine coursing through my body. After stream, I wither. Yeah, it's just like, this is me. Yes, I am here. And then I... Please don't die. Don't worry. I've spent years building up a tolerance to this. I won't even notice. The other, was it Sunday? I woke up, I had coffee, and then we went out and what was it? I had something. I had some other kind of caffeinated thing, and then we stopped, and I had a Starbucks drink, and my brain is like, you have had a lot of coffee flavored things today, and I'm like doing the math. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. I should be. My daughter's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. Don't even notice it. I don't know if that's good or bad. White flavored Gatorade? White flavored. What even is white flavored? Hopefully it's vanilla. Is that vanilla? Well, we're against it, Jones. We're trying not to. That's what's about vanilla. Hello, Samus. Good to see you. Hello, Jones. Today we're gonna be doing some stuff, man. I'm excited. In the new realm and the new thing that what we're doing is having a bunch of things to talk about. I created a bunch of points and segments and whatnot, and we're gonna jump into got like 6 segments. I'm gonna be a bit more vulnerable later with some stuff that I'm going through with my sponsor, and that I think maybe you creators can learn from. So it's very creator heavy today, being Taco Tuesday, and I'm really excited about talking about it. We're going to be a little bit philosophical. We're going to be a little practical. We're going to talk about some stats stuff. We're going to talk about some other, but basically the title of the stream being, surface versus substance, look, quality, humility, shape your content. It really is the theme for today. I'm very excited. What's white taste like then? And I don't like Gatorade. I think it tastes like salt water, and I think that's gross. I don't even like mineral water. Like if it's got the mineral content like 300, if it's anything over like 80, I think it tastes gross. So the Gatorade is the worst version of that for me. But I'm wearing, I know, taco, wait, I know. Well, still though, it's food related. At least it's something. White tastes like white, stupid. Obviously. Did I just see Spock get smacked? Oh, dip. There he goes. What am I watching? What did you type? What did Zach type? What's up, Hannah? Good to see you. Hope you're well. How goes the job hunt? How goes all the various things in your life? I hope you're finding something, or at least someone's finding something. Now, I don't know. Like all of a sudden, the Spock was getting the crap smacked out of him on my screen, and I have no idea why. Yeah, like that. How did? I don't know. Why is the Simpsons on there? I don't know. This thing is beyond my control. Jobs are bust? Oh, bummer. That sucks. I know it's hard to do. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't able to do this. Like I finding a job, really, really, really hard. Although I should say, I've never gotten a job with my resume, like ever, like 20 some odd years. It's always been word of mouth or someone asking me or whatever. So I'm not the right guy to ask. My resume must be terrible because I've sent it like 1,000 places. Noah's going to a job fair on Thursday. Okay, sick. Yeah, those are helpful. When we started, like my kids were starting to try to find jobs and whatever. They walk up and down the street and go to the various places and get told no. And then they had a job fair in town. We went to the hockey rink and a bunch of people were there. Talked to the guy from Subway. Yeah, we're looking for whatever, and then started at Subway. 3 of my kids worked for Subway, like each in order kind of went in there because we had a connection, we had a thing, and when they were ready, they started at Subway, then they moved on to other stuff, and it all started at a fair. So I think it's yeah, it's great. want to focus more on streaming. Tended to do cooking stream yesterday, but for whatever reason, I was utterly exhausted, so I passed out. Yeah, it's hard to stream when you're unconscious. Can confirm. Yeah, it's just, well, I mean, I didn't stream either, right? So, had an interview, scheduling second one. See, that's good. It's nice to have good news. I remember a while back, someone was saying that they, like just a long time ago, I was going through some bad stuff, and that person was having just a grand old time, just really good, like, and so I'm like, how's things? And she said, things are so good, like, I'm really happy. And she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, why are you apologizing? She's like, I know you're going through a hard time, so it must, you know, I don't want to like brag or whatever. And I'm like, no. I need to know other people are having a good, like, are having a good life because it makes me happy. I'm not mad or jealous that other people are having a good time. It would be terrible if everybody felt like, you know, me at this point. I'm glad that there are people out there that can encourage, right? Like, don't be upset because you're having a good time. My sister couldn't get anything for summer job. At this point, she'll just ride out the rest of the summer till school starts. Well, dude, we just started. Dude, it's still June. There is time. I mean, like, do what you got to do, but like, yeah, it's only June. It's not July yet. But it's yeah. I mean, there are places like, so one summer I worked for a painting company. It was kind of fun. I was working with people that were cool, and you know, someone that was a friend and whatnot, and so we kind of hung out. Wasn't any money. Didn't make hardly any money at all, and didn't have any like by the end of the summer, I was out, I was tanned, I'd wrecked like 3 pairs of pants and a bunch of shirts from paint and whatnot. And then it ended up being like not nearly enough. And so, but it was something to do, you know, so like it was something to do. And you couldn't work when it was raining. Like it wasn't a great job, but at least it was something. We're going to strengthen our marriage. Seems to be going well so far. We found our new church home. Hey, that sounds good. I mean, yeah, it's because I would imagine that going through, you know, you wanting to get a job, but then you not being able to get that one because it wasn't working for you physically, and then, you know, the hubby getting laid off, that puts a lot of stress. You know, financial stuff is usually, if I'm trying to remember my stats correctly, it's like the number one reason people get people split up is because of financial stuff, and it's not necessarily the money, right? It's like. Like, I don't like you anymore because you don't have money. It's more along the lines of it exacerbates all the other areas of stress. Like if you see somebody and they're lazy, they're being lazy, and they just got home from work, you go, yeah, you know what? I get it. You're at work, whatever, you can have a day off. But if they're just sitting there not doing anything and they're not bringing in income, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, how come you're this? You know, and then the other person, you're being judgmental, and that's why you know, like a whole thing. It could be a whole thing. And what you need, all you need is because of money. Right? It's it would make it a little harder. Talked about remote jobs and how to get them. Oh yeah. Pie. School starts back up. She's happy, and she's able to go back to school. Then good for her. Maybe she needs some time off. No judgment here. That's for sure. I used to have a job as a landscaper. Loved rainy days because the boss would pay us to take inner tubes down the river. Nice. Can't argue with that. 3.14 slices? That would be so hard to divide. Nope. You get 90s and 45s. I can't do anything else. I tried, you know, sometimes we try to cut it in 6. Like, we should cut it in 6, and I can't do it. You gained 31 PAI today. I don't know what that is. What's a PAI? Neither one of us have had an interview. I'm losing hope at the moment that I can even have a normal job. And you don't need a normal job, right? That's the thing, is that there's like so many jobs out there. I'll tell you the same thing that I've told so many people, or ask you the same thing. And that is, have you been working with any of the agencies that are set up for finding a job, right? Because I know in Canada has a lot more agencies. I know that, but I know the U.S. does too. You know, there are places that, like government places or private places or nonprofit places that are just like, their whole thing is they try to help people get jobs. And they have, you know, training things and school stuff and help you with your resume. And then, you know, like, or even like get you connected with a temp agency, things like that. Are you working with any of those? Because sometimes it's a matter of you're just sitting there up in your head trying to figure out, how do I do this? And you don't have to figure it out. You can just go and talk to somebody who knows what they're doing and they can help you out. So I picture on the web some cutting a triangle in the bottom of the pie, 0 crust. Oh, you mean like in the middle? Yeah, that'll get you in trouble. That's a Chad move right there. Zach walks in, carves a triangle out of the middle, takes it. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, that won't get you any friends. No question. No. That's funny. It's like that walking in and like you got a picture, or like someone printed like a picture on the camera or on the cake, and then you just like take the guy's face. You just like first cut right in the middle, take the guy's face or eyeball or something and walk away. We did that. My son was he was given an award for something to do with 911. He called 911 because we had a big emergency or whatever. Because he was young. He was like, I think he was 10. Like he was really little. And then they brought him in as like a 911 hero. We had a whole day, and he came over. They had cake afterwards, and it had a picture. And he's like, I want that, you know. And it was a picture. I can't remember what it was, but it was in the middle of the cake, right? It was like legitimately not. We weren't gonna get there. And so I'm like, dude, let's just ask. And like, can we have that part right there? Like, I think it was the truck or like a fire truck or something. And she's like, of course, here you go, punk, you know. It's just a matter of asking. I'd imagine that Zach didn't ask if he could have the center of the whole pie before he did it, though. I'll tell you what, I'm going to let me head over to where we're going today. We'll see. Whoa! I forgot it did that. It scared me. Forgot I had that set up. Welcome to XNN. That was funny. No, I didn't think you asked. Hello, Star Blue. I'm doing okay. I got my Rogue. I'm not gonna break into a full Miley Cyrus song, but yeah, I got my Rogue and I got, you know, friends in chat. So what do you want? Hey, Chrono, just in time, my man. About to start talking about social media stuff and streaming stuff and content creator stuff. Not that you need to know. Chrono's got some solid stuff, man. He makes such good looking content. Good gravy. He should be teaching this class. We should be watching him. XNN. Oh, and to the power of 3? Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I like that. That was made in like 10 minutes on Sora. I'm lucky I got the right letters. Most of them weren't not the right letters. Like legit. I'll show you. Been working on audio. Did you ever figure out the multi-stream? No, not videos. My media. These ones. Yeah. So there's a few like this is. I thought this was kind of cool. I actually really liked that one. I thought it was kind of slick. It just, because of the way the transition worked, it was too short. I tried this one, and it was like they did like the XNNNNN over here, which I think is kind of rad. It just, notice how it comes in and then it leaves and then it comes in again. Like it's I don't know, just didn't seem to work. I kind of like it better though. Like they're a lot more stylish than the one you just saw. That has too many X's in it. That has no N in it. That one looks slick, but then it gets covered up, right? Like it doesn't quite go. I think that logo right there, I don't know what that's supposed to be, but that's somebody wants that logo. You can totally have it. That is a sick looking logo. Anyway. Any hoozle. All right, let me, we're gonna switch out to different music because this one isn't working for me. Let's do lo-fi. Wow, we haven't played lo-fi in forever. All right, there we go. Do some lo-fi. I might fall asleep. Yeah, I mean, and it was easy to set up, right? Like it's just a matter of doing Sora and then setting it up as a transition. So it's easy enough. What it doesn't do is the transparent, right? It doesn't, because it's not a WebP file. It's an MP4 and it doesn't have any transparent in it. And I don't know how to do that anyway. I'm sure if I had some expensive program, I could do it, but it wouldn't be Adobe. Adobe is officially going to die. I don't know if you guys know about this. This is, bonus news for you, but Adobe has been just pooping its pants, man, nonstop. And it's like someone said something to somebody and they're like, what if we just destroy all of our goodwill with the creators and also make all our stuff worse and then make our terms of service terrible? Like it just, they're just falling apart. Had big problems with watching Twitch yesterday. Other sites played video fine, but Twitch was 30-second buffer every few seconds. Oh, really? I wonder what that's all about. Ready to switch back to Adobe because DaVinci Resolve is my working my nerves. Really hate the direction. Yeah, well, that's it, right? There are other pieces of software out there, but the hard part is that, and I think that's why Adobe's being a big dumb jerk face, is because they really do have the best software and they really do have a corner on the market. And so therefore it's, like, go ahead, yeah, go somewhere else, I dare you. Kirk, I haven't really been doing gaming content at all, but I've had quite a bit of fun with my Justin Subaru. Oh, with the TikTok, Justin Subaru. Just in a Subaru. That because you worked for them? Is that why? Like you don't work for them anymore. Been a few years learning Premiere, Photoshop, After Effects. Can barely edit and resolve because it's so wildly different. I thought it was similar. Actually, I thought one of the things is that if you knew one, you'd know the other better, but you don't, eh? I downloaded DaVinci and I'm like, nope, I don't know how to run this. I use a very simple program and my content's very simple. Like I don't need it to do special stuff. I use a Sony Vegas 20 and it works perfectly fine. Does it crash every now and again? Yeah, but it's very easy to use. Like maybe not the most powerful stuff in the world, but for what the content I make, I don't need the most powerful stuff in the world. I just need it to, edit basically. Oh, you manage your social media now. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, that's slick. Okay, I'm gonna let me pray real fast, and then we're gonna jump into the content. Just want to dedicate the stream to God. Thank you, God, for the stream. Thank you for content creation. Thank you for the love that we can have for each other and that the community can have. I pray that you'd bless me to be able to say helpful stuff and that you would be able to be glorified by what we do in our content, in our communities, and with our mission to be able to help and serve others. Amen. CapCut's good. No, you're not wrong. CapCut's good. It's just it has a monthly like subscription, right? For the good stuff. Custom animations stuff to use on stream and resolve tools are too weird for my brain. He's not wrong that CapCut's really good though. Oh, but yeah, you got to pay. Yeah, that's the thing. They got good stuff, but you got to pay for it. My shorts editor, Samus, is complaining about the AI system that we have through Opus, which it has a little editor, but it's not very good. Like, it's not super accurate. It's not super, like, like intuitive kind of thing. And so if you want to get really kind of micro to the edits and stuff, it's a pain in the butt. And so we're trying to find something else. And one of the something else's would be CapCut, because CapCut does shorts. I don't know how it works, but I know you got to pay for it. PII stands for Personal Activity Intelligence. About how long I can keep up intense workouts. Oh, neat. AI shorts have been really funny this week. I've seen so many AI shorts on my feed lately, and it's just like, I like AI, but they're getting more sophisticated. A couple of them I'm like, this looks like a real person. That's not a real person, you know, and the way that they talk isn't like the way a normal person talks. But I'm getting a ton of it. I don't know why. Like all at once. XNNN, and then add a 0.14 of an N, and then it'd be X pie, and then it'd be a different show. It'd just be me eating dessert. Can you pray for the ceasefire getting broken already? It's been a bit stressful for a lot of people in my life. All the AI shorts are just racist, though. Are they? I don't have any racist stuff. I just have completely benign garbage, you know, like trying to pseudopsychology. We want to not have a ceasefire? Is that what we want? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, we haven't started yet. I haven't even jumped into the first segment yet. We're about to. There was a ceasefire and it got broken this morning, so war not over. Okay. Yeah. Really? That doesn't surprise me. He's not the most I don't know what the word is. Like he doesn't play by the rules of TV. But yeah, all right, we can pray for that. I don't mind. God, thank you that you walk with us and that you're everywhere in the world. We don't know what's happening over there. We have no control what's happening over in Israel, in the Middle East, in Iran, in any of the places we don't have influence. And so it's hard for us to process what we can do and what would we do with the stress and the fear. We have people in our lives that are connected, maybe even people that are over there, people that know what's going on a bit better. I pray that you give wisdom to the people who are involved, that you would bring peace to the area, and that there would be cessation of hostilities. We know that area is almost impossible, but you do work miracles. I pray for safety of families that are over there, and for the people that are here on this side, that they'd be able to find some kind of unity instead of using the situation as a way to divide each other, as a way to find unity and to seek to help more people rather than become enemies to themselves. Amen. All politicians seem to have turned into vulgarians lately. Well, I saw, I think it was the first time Trump was around, and they were talking about how, because one of the ways that he shortcuts relationship, or shortcuts, what is the term? Like to make you feel like you trust him, is that he doesn't use political language. Instead, he uses vulgar stuff. And the reason that he does that is because, it's a way for you to kind of say, is a way for you to, I'm different. I'm talking to you like a real person would talk to you, not like one of these pretend fake guys, not one of these, like polished up political, people. I'm a real person just like you, and you can tell because I use potty language. And it's a shortcut to gaining trust. After seeing what AI can do with the video for a few seconds, now when I see commercials, I wonder if they're AI actors because they only show a few sections of a scene. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be very tempting. Thank you for the lurk. A bunch of my cousins and uncles are on subs now, and we can't talk to them at all until it's over. Aw. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I'm Canadian, so I don't know hardly anybody in the military. Not that we don't have military, but just it's not nearly as prevalent in my life. Okay, let's make a switch here. I want to start talking about the very first thing. This whole day, like the whole thing we're going to talk about. The theme really is surface versus substance, how looks, quality, and humility shape your content. We're going to talk about 6 different things, and the overarching kind of narrative is being careful about, what your stuff looks like, what the quality of your stuff is, and how you approach your audience and the people around you is going to not only shape your content, but shape the success of your content. I stumbled across some articles, and they were kind of jumping into my brain as these would be good lessons for us to learn as small creators, as people who are trying to learn this stuff. And we're just gonna bang off a few of them. The first one is views and retention. Views and retention. Yeah, people. How do you make a signature? Exactly, and the bad actors won't. That's the thing. Supersonic. They don't have to. So no matter what you do with ChatGPT or Sora or with any of the other ones, there's a million of them. If they're doing it privately on their computer, there won't be any watermark. Okay, so just we're gonna quick read this thing, and then we're gonna jump into something else. So another aspect of Meta's recent shift to recategorize all videos posted on the app, except live streams, as Reels, is that this will change how Meta counts views for non-Reels clips. Up to the announcement, Meta counted Facebook video views, non-Reels, at 3 seconds of view time, meaning that the video needed to be on screen and playing for 3 seconds at least to register a view. But now Meta is bringing this into line with Reels measurement, with video views to be counted basically as soon as the video begins playing. Right? So, in other words, next time that they talk about their numbers, they can say a bazillion people watch our videos. The last year, 17 gazillion videos were watched, instead of going, people swiped away after 3 seconds and it cutting absolutely a huge margin. It's a way for them to bolster their numbers. Which Mondometrics chief Nick Cicero points out means that now every major social platform counts as a video view after a second, except LinkedIn. While regular YouTube videos, everything but shorts, still counted at 30 seconds. 30 seconds feels like a more viable measure of attention and engagement. And it also is worth noting that most platforms also provide 2-second and 3-second view counts within their ad metrics, as well as completion rates to provide more context. But it's important for social media managers to understand what a view count actually means and represents in real-world terms. Okay, so here's the thing. This is the graphic I wanted to show you. And it's a reminder that if in your content, one of the things that you really gotta get right is that the views don't matter much. Okay, like you shouldn't be shooting for views. Views are nice and they help, but that is actually not the best metric for you to be able to figure out whether or not you have a good quote unquote good video. The more I see quality, the less I post. Can't call it a reel if we don't know if it's real. When in reality, I'm just scrolling past the OnlyFans girl in a bikini, not actually paying attention. Well, and that's it, right? Is that there's not a lot going on when it comes to that to the content, but it will catch attention. That's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit today. Supersonic says, so I changed my Twitch browser to Edge because Firefox doesn't let chat load for me on any stream I go to. I'm also trying to get set all the BTTV settings on this browser now too. Auto claim channel points, message deleted, highlight keyword names. Yeah. It's still a Chromium browser, so it should be fine. So view on TikTok is just how many people did TikTok put in front of it, not actual watch. Yeah. So if Snapchat, all content 1 second, Instagram, all photo carousel 1 second, Instagram stories 1 second, Instagram reels 1 second, X, all photo, video, and text views 1 second, Facebook, all non-live video content 1 second, TikTok, all video content 1 second, Facebook reels 1 second, YouTube shorts 1 second, LinkedIn, all video content 2 seconds, YouTube videos 30 seconds. That's how you count a view. Which is why I say that it doesn't really matter when it comes to I mean, it matters a little bit to your view count, but if you're wondering why your view count kind of pegs out, and I know that if you look at my stuff, I usually get 1,000, sometimes 2,000, hover around 700, give or take average views for each short. And then if you go to my actual videos, it's anywhere around 40 kind of thing. And the question is, what does YouTube want in order to recommend this thing? It's not just a matter of views. If I get views, I'll get more views. It's actually retention. Retention is what matters the most. If you look at any given, I'll show you one of my videos. All right. Yeah, metrics and content, and we can go to, I don't know, some recent video. We'll go to, will AI ruin streaming? So this has 64 views, which I admit isn't a lot. Okay. So I'm a very small creator, and my content why am I giving advice when I can only get 64 views? This is advice based on what I know and what I've learned. Doesn't mean that I popped off or anything. Okay. So take it as you will. But if you look down here, what you'll see is a line for what's called engagement, right? Retention. So it's, people will start the video, right? Most people will watch, and then you'll get about a third of the people will watch until the 44-second mark. And then some of them will stick around, but by the time you get to 6:03, they're gone. So what happened at 6:03? So nobody cares about these artists. The only people that care about the artists are the artists. Everybody else is happy to generate Studio Ghibli stuff, happy to generate. I started talking about ChatGPT, right? So it's possible, and again, it's hard to know. But basically, if people are like, okay, that's an interesting thing to watch. Okay, I'll stick around a little bit, because most of the time it's I don't want to watch. So like the first one's going to be a spike, no matter what your video is. But people will stick around. So the moment I kind of changed to a different topic, as in it wasn't the topic of that was in the video, it was different. Maybe that's it. Who knows? And then all of a sudden, it tanks. So that's it's each of your videos is going to have one of those, right? They're all going to have some kind of retention thing. So if I go to, let's say let's go, I don't know, 90 days. Twitch Pastor Reacts. That's always my biggest video. It's got, a bunch of views. But if you look at retention, right, actually it's pretty crazy, because it's a 2-hour video, and when people start watching, it always goes like that. So like a third of the people will stick around, and a good chunk, will stick around for the whole thing if they can get past, I guess, right here, past the 20-minute mark. and then off they go, right? Like it's 95% of viewers still watching around the 30-second mark, which is typical. So that's good. That's a good thing. It's important. The reason I point this out is because when you are going through your videos and you're wondering, how you can quote unquote improve them, is when the comment, I don't know what that word means. Is to ask yourself, am I engaging? The other one is, what's the click-through rate? So click-through rate kind of charts your, whether or not you have a good thumbnail, whether or not your title is interesting, whether or not you're grabbing people. When they go through, are they going to click on it? Once they click on it, that's your click-through rate. That's a good thing. It means you have a good thumbnail. It means you have a good, okay, so I gotta find my click-through rate. I don't even know where it is. I have not looked at my click-through rate in quite some time. Oh, that's too sleepy. Videos. Let's go to this one. Engagement. I think that's where click-through is. Commute. The commute. Oh, the commute, as in like when you're driving down the road. All right, so audience retention, end stream element click, 1.2. That's not bad. 1.2%. Dislikes versus dislikes. I have many dislikes on that video. It's mostly dislikes. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Click through. 8% click through. So that's how many views per impression shown. It's one more metric to kind of say, this is what I need to change. This is what I need to fix in order to get more. I've been working on constantly trying to figure out what my style of thumbnail is, which one works, what's going to help, what's going to be better in order to help my content. And so that's, I thought I'd pass that on just as something to think about. Yeah, they listen to while driving. Exactly. A 20-minute commute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Twitch shows concurrent viewers. Oh, so by the way, for Twitch, it'll show your concurrent viewers, like your actual Twitch stat will show you how many viewers you have at any given time, right? If you look at my stat right now, it's whatever number. And it doesn't just show the ones that click. If they go in and they click on at 5 seconds, right? Like click in and then they leave, they're like, oh, this is dumb, and they leave at 5 seconds. That actually hurts you in their version of the algorithm for discovery. It's not a perfect system, and it certainly is definitely skewed for the kingmaker of big numbers better. But at the same time, if it's going to put you in recommended, or if it's going to put you into some kind of system for when it's going to pop you up somewhere else, if people keep coming in and leaving, coming in and leaving, coming in and leaving, it actually hurts. So how can you fix that? The hard part on Twitch is that it's hard to be engaging the whole time. Sometimes you're on break, sometimes you're kind of having conversation, sometimes you're just kind of vibing, sometimes it's you're having a hard time in the game, or you're focusing and you're not saying much. It's easier to do in pre-recorded videos, like on YouTube, where you can kind of keep the punching going and get rid of the dead air, get rid of the stuff that isn't attention grabbing. On Twitch streams, it's harder to do, but it is worth saying. And the same thing as radio, the same thing as everywhere else, dead air is the enemy, right? Like if you have dead air, as in like the chair stream, or the one where you're just kind of sitting there not talking at all, or there's no actual activity happening, nothing interesting, and it's just you're just kind of on your, I don't know what you're doing, on your phone, whatever, but dead air is your enemy. And that way, because if people come in and they actually take a look and they're like, okay, this is interesting, and I hear something, they might stick around to see what you're saying. But if they come in and they're bored, they have 17 billion more people they can go watch. And they gave you a chance and you were boring for a second. That could get paranoid. Yes, it could be paranoid, because you'd be like, oh, I got to keep talking, got to keep going. And for some people, it's a work stream. Some people, it's a vibe stream. Some people, it's it's just you're kind of sitting there listening to music or whatever. So those are viable. Those are viable types of streams. But if you're your average streamer, just recognize that your view count and your concurrent viewers and getting people's attention really does factor in. So consider that if you're too tired, or if if you can't make it through 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever of your stream, and you end up not being able to talk, or because of your lack of prep, you don't have anything to say, or because the game you're playing is whatever and it's not that interesting, it does matter on Twitch. If you want to grow, and if you want the algorithm to pick you up a little bit, that does matter. Why you gotta be sleepy? If you have 500 followers or 50,000 followers. Oh, sorry, Ukulele says, I wonder if the secret to platform popularity is making the creators feel popular. Can you expound on that? Because it sounds like what you're saying is, I wonder if people use YouTube because YouTube makes them feel like they're more popular. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Supersonic says, if you have 500 followers or 50,000 followers, but only 5 to 15 viewers, then the followers don't matter. Viewers do somewhat, but it's still just a number. But to some, this can be offensive. No, I'll say for me, my follower count is nice in that when people come to my stream or I go to someone else's stream, it's the first number they see, right? If they look at it and they go, this guy's got X amount of followers and it's over whatever their imaginary number is, right? This person is a real streamer. The person is a successful streamer. This person at least, you know, is worth listening to or worth giving a try. You know, they've got 800,000 or they've got 2,000 or they've got like 700. They're worth looking into. Their, you know, as opposed to this person has 30 followers or they have 50 followers, and you know, it's like, okay, well, are they, you know, what are they? Are they still new? Are they any good? That follower count's going to matter a little bit, but ultimately, when it comes to success on your stream, the follower count means very little on Twitch, because it's all based on your views. Everything is based on whether or not you are keeping the viewers, gathering viewers, how long they stay. You know, that's why if you go to the Twitch metrics, go to the analytics, you'll see, is this two? No, we're gonna go back. This one. You go here, it'll actually show you, where is it? Oh, yeah, it'll show you basically what your viewer count is for each part of your stream, right? Like all the way through. If you know, at what point did people leave? When you go chat, how were they engaged? At what point did they kick in and they were really interested? When did they stop? You know, so this whole time, for like a solid half an hour, there were no text messages, right? Or no chat messages at all. Here, no chat messages. So what was happening?
Correct.
You know, click in.
Correct.
It was either so interesting or so boring. One of the two. Regardless, that mattered. That's why the engagement matters. Your live viewers matters, you know. So here you go. I started with 10 and all of a sudden blah 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 blah, you know, and it kind of goes like this. I actually don't know what a live view is now that I think about it. What is a live view? I don't know the answer to that question. What's the difference between a live view and a viewer, an average viewer? I don't know. Will it tell me somewhere? Yeah, you can scrub through your VOD to see what moments drove the most views, follows, and chats. I don't know what a live view is. Is that when people go looking at it? If anybody can look that up, that'd be great. I don't know what that is. Regardless, to say this is how they want you to chart. How and when people chat, how many people are actually watching, and total be different than viewers including VOD? I don't think so, because it's only 2. I certainly had more than 2 viewers. My average was more than that. I guess we can ask. What are live views sorting on Twitch analytics? Live views are the total number of times your stream has been accessed while you were actively streaming. It counts every instant someone views the stream, even if they leave and return. That can't be right. What? Visited you? Okay, hold on. Discovery, earnings, stats. Live view. Okay. So average viewers is the average number of concurrent viewers on your stream. Yep. To calculate this number, we check how many viewers there are at each point in time that you are live. The stat in the top bar is an average across this number. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Live views is the total views of your live streams. It does not include VOD or clip views. That doesn't help at all. I still don't know what it is. Kiddo heard you and he associates you with Minecraft, so he just heard you comes running. Oh, it's that guy! Yeah, I will Minecraft one of these days. I apologize, my man. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, I don't know. I literally don't know. If anybody can figure that out, then please do. What are live views on Twitch? When trying to grow your Twitch streams, there are plenty of stats to keep in mind. These could help you track your channel's popularity over time, but what are live views on Twitch and how can you turn these into followers? Okay. All right. Live views are how many people are watching your stream at that moment. This is visible below the stream itself as a red number. That is not true. That is your average viewer. That's your live view count. View counter versus users in chat. Yeah. No, I can. That's not it. That's not it. Huh, interesting. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what that is. And there's no way for me to find out. Live views. 96. Huh. Total number of views on your stream. I will move away from this because I honestly don't know. Maybe you guys can help me out. All right, next thing. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a poll because I am curious about this. Let me fire up a poll. Do you look at your viewers on stream? Yes, no, sometimes. Okay. This is going to be a 3-minute poll. The question is basically, do you have your viewer count on while you're streaming? For me, if you are a streamer, if you're a YouTuber or whatever, I apologize, but if you are a streamer, do you have your viewer count on? Yes, no, or sometimes. My answer is no, not at all. All it does is stress me out, makes me feel bad, no matter what number it is. It doesn't matter. I cannot have it on, or it makes me crazy, and I have it turned off everywhere. I've seen viewers below be way different. Yeah, it's like 1. Sudden spike drop of X viewers doesn't necessarily mean that many suddenly arrived or left, except raids. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it changed. I think I got a raid. I don't remember. Live views seem to be counting when people are accessing your stream. It's not counting the current people watching, just whenever started watching. Oh, like if they start watching your stream? And it doesn't count when they leave. Okay, that's kind of more interesting. Yeah. Well, no, 94. Yeah, it doesn't count when you leave. It just counts when people come in. I don't know. I don't know what that's for. I look at it as a troubleshooting metric. If chat gets super quiet, it's to me, it's the paranoia of what happened to chat, what's going on. Am I a good boy? It makes me crazy. And so therefore I can't have it on. I just can't. Even hovering over top, there's no reason for me to do it. I really struggle with it because I want to hover. I want to go, because if I hover over the viewers, even though it's turned off, it'll tell me what it is. And, but the problem is there's no good number. Like if it's above X, then I feel like I must be good and this must be a good stream and I must be doing well and I'm et cetera, et cetera. And if it's under, then it's like, what am I doing wrong and how do I fix it? And I don't know how to fix it. And what's the, people are going to leave me and then it's a whole thing. Right. And so it's not good for me. So I leave it off. So I'm curious as to you guys, what do you guys do? Some of you guys say sometimes. A lot of you say you do. Most of you say yes or sometimes. Mine's been off for probably 2 years. Gotta be. I bet it's been off for 2 years. It's time when I was part of a thing called Pocket Full of Quarters, but I don't like it anymore. Channel may have 20 in chat for marbles, then suddenly over 100 say exclamation point play, and that's the only message they say. Yes. So for me, based on my content, there you go. So most of you are sometimes. Interesting. That interesting. Sometimes you're yes. Wild. So for me, like my content should be engaging. People should be coming in and talking. If I'm talking and I'm asking questions and I'm interesting, it generally compels people to try to say something. If I'm active with chat and I'm paying attention and reading their stuff, then that means that they are likely going to continue to conversate with me. However, if I jump into a game or if I'm boring or if the content's not good or whatever, and chat dies, to me, that's the biggest metric. Are people talking back? Are they compelled to want to say something? Like if someone's like, I was working, or I was in a meeting, or I was driving, or I was whatever, and I had to say something, to me, that's a win. That is a win for my stream, because it means that I was compelling enough that someone wanted to actually engage. Here's a started with weight loss. Checking the scales each day when there's no change can be demotivating. I don't stream, but I have plans for YouTube, faith-related channel, still in the planning phase. Yeah, and that's it. It can either be in my son. He goes every month and he gets his. We're doing all kinds of news. We're doing all kinds of things. So he goes and he gets a check at the gym monthly where they attach a bunch of stuff to him, and then they, tell him his fat and his muscle and his salt and like just a big page full of stuff. And he got a new trainer, and the trainer's like, I only do it once every 3 months instead of doing it once a month. And he's like, I want to do it once a month, because he's like, if it's good, I'm excited, I'm interested, I think it's great, and I'm motivated. If it's bad, I think, wow, I better get off my duff and do better. Like, I find it better to know the number because it motivates me regardless of whatever it is. And I guess for me anyway, it's more paranoid. Also, I leave the viewer count up when live. Doesn't bother me. If it's at 0, I know I need to be more engaging. If it's steady, then I do my best to keep the combo going. If it's at 0, that usually means that the mistake isn't necessarily during stream. It's probably during promotion of a stream, right? Don't offer refunds on what? I keep it off. I only check my viewer count if it's quiet and I'm about to raid out. If I don't have anyone watching, I might end stream instead of raiding out. Interesting. Yeah. I can understand that. Okay, next thing. Segment 2, I'd like to call it. The Mind's Eye disaster launching before you're ready. So this isn't, Chrono's like, you doing gaming news? No. We're doing philosophical learnings on what the heck is going on here. If you don't know the story of Chrono, you don't know the story of Mind's Eye, Chrono's probably the better guy to do it, or anybody who's really more into gaming and whatnot. All I know is what the general public kind of knows. It came out recently. It was buggy as flip. The people that were playing it on YouTube or Twitch or live or whatever, it was awful. It was no fun. Just terrible. In fact, there was one guy, I can't remember who it was, but he was about to jump on and do his Mind's Eye review, and he got a text from Mind's Eye. He's like, don't show it. And it was like, do not do the review, because it was just getting lambasted and it was awful. It's one of the worst rated games of 2025. The lesson that I want to talk about from this is the danger of launching before you're ready. And this is from a small content creator point of view. You who are a small content creator, I think there's something we can learn from this. I'm going to switch out the music. It's making me sleepy. I knew it would. We're going to go straight to the jazz because I like jazz and it keeps me motivated. You remember Cyberpunk 2077? It had so much hype. It was I remember they did a Cyberpunk like room for somebody, and they did Cyberpunk computers and Cyberpunk they were like, this is the biggest game in the history of ever. It launched, it was awful. It was super plagued by bugs, didn't have much it barely playable for a lot of people, and it just absolutely shot them in the foot. Lost their they got pulled from the PlayStation store. Like, they literally pulled it off. Like, it was, people lost a lot of faith in the publisher. Same thing with No Man's Sky. Same thing happened to them, where they made a bunch of promises and then they launched and they were not ready and the promises weren't there, and it just wasn't a good game. Same thing with Anthem. 2019, great sci-fi world, but it was boring as flip and people didn't like it, and it became it just hurt BioWare. Battlefield 2042. I didn't know this one. This is apparently it was a technical mess, and a lot of people were upset with it. For me, the point that I want to kind of pull from this is that we as content creators, if you're like me, you probably are. And maybe you are in this way. And that is, you get excited about the thing you're creating, right? You get excited about this thing you're creating. You want to show it to the world. Or you get really interested in it and you feel your attention waning. It's taking too long. It is, whatever. And you're like, I just want to show it off. I just want to be done with this. I just want to get it out there. Because otherwise it'll never be done. I'll have wasted all this work, or if I just want, something. You need something, some kind of energy to send it out. And what you end up doing is you send out a worse thing. I've done this a lot. So what I do is I will often come up with a cool idea and I'll put it all together and I'll just kind of put it out there. And it'll frustrate people. They won't know what to do with it. It's not explained well. It doesn't fit in. I didn't warn anybody. I didn't tell them when it was coming. All of a sudden, I'm just making changes. And people are like, whatever happened to like Weird Wednesday? What happened to Weird Wednesday? Why isn't it Weird Wednesday anymore? Why is it on a Thursday? What's going on? Right? It was just an idea I had, and then I launched it. I do this all the time, and it's not good because what ends up happening is you build distrust with the people that are watching, and you create an anxiety in them, or you create a sense of whatever the opposite of FOMO is, right? So you've got FOMO, fear of missing out, that drives people to want to come to your stream, come to your content, come and see what's going on. Because they know that something good is happening. It does the opposite. It's like, well, I don't know if there's anything good because things keep changing. I don't know if it's anything good because I used to like it and now it's different. And I don't know why he did that. If we send out undercooked stuff, it's going to damage our reputation. I think it's good to experiment. I'm all for experimenting. I'm all for putting stuff out there, communicating and going, hey, I'm going to try something new. This is what I'm going to do, and come take a look at it. Or hey, I'm going to do an overlay. But I think if you're going to launch something substantial, like say VTuber, or changing your overlay setup, or changing your calendar, or changing like any like a really substantial thing, that if you do it in a poor way, even the people that are like your fans, the ones who want to stick around, are going to get frustrated and they're going to leave, right? They're going to get frustrated with you, and they're going to say, I have lots of choices. I used to like this person. I don't know what they're doing, and that causes me anxiety. That causes me frustration. That causes me, I don't know what's going on. So therefore, I'm going to go find someone more consistent or someone more communicative. The counterpoint to this is perfectionism. Perfectionism also kills momentum, because there's a certain point at which you need to release the thing. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exactly right. It's good enough. And you need to move on to whatever the next project is, the next video is, the next short is, the next phase of development is. You got to let it go. It'll be fine. You just release it. You've told everybody you've gotten it ready, and it looks pretty good, and off you go. Your perfectionism, if you keep it all back, right, you're going to be burning energy on that, which means your current content or the current videos or the current whatever are going to start to suffer. You are going to be breaking promises because you're like, I plan on releasing this thing in a month. I plan on releasing this thing in 2 months, in a week, next week. And it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. And then people are like, well, what? Maybe you don't know what you're doing, et cetera, et cetera. And so that it burns your reputation. I think it's both. Yeah, I think you got to find both. The perfectionism of waiting too long will shoot you in the foot. Rushing and shipping it out before it's ready, that'll hurt you. We got to find a balance. I've tried to figure out a balance with that. I get really excited about new stuff. I love doing new stuff. I love experimenting. And so I tend to lean towards rushing it out. But like, for example, I'm in the middle of a web design. I will catch up on chat, I promise. I'm in the middle of designing a new web page. That new web page, normally what I would do is I'd do it literally live. Like, I'm going to change this, and then out it goes, and then change this, and then out it goes, and then change this, and then out it goes. And it's like, if you were there, you just kind of watch it in real time change in front of you, and half of it's broken and some of it doesn't work, and then I get tired, or I change, I run out of time, and then half of it's broken. What I'm doing this time around is I'm doing what's called a staging site, which I didn't even know that was a thing on WordPress. But you can go in the background and basically create a staging site which is you fix it, you change it, you put all your jazz in there, you make sure it's all tight, and then you can just launch all at once with a brand new website. I'm trying to do that. Everything in me wants to switch it over. Everything in me is excited to show off what's going on, but I can't because it's wildly undercooked. Same thing with my overlay setup. I want to launch the VTuber. I want to have good overlays for the VTuber thing. I don't want to launch it again and have it look crappy. So I'm going to do stuff in the background. It's killing me because I've got so many things I want to do and so many things that ideas and you know, like between depression and life and busyness and other parts of the job and et cetera, it's not going anywhere near as fast as I want it to. Like I feel like I'm way behind, and I want to show you guys that I want to really kind of demonstrate that I'm doing work. You know, I'm doing something, but it's not ready yet. And I've got a lot of things right now that are just not ready yet, and I'm working on in the background, which isn't great because you don't get to see it. I don't get to talk about it. I don't get to do anything with it, and it takes a bunch of time. So it feels like I'm wasting your time and wasting mine, but hopefully at some point it'll launch. I know that that's not exactly what happens with these video games. The video games are super corporate, and you know, it's run by people who don't know video games. It's run by people who couldn't care less and are trying to squeeze money out or trying to chase trends or whatever. They set a date, and it doesn't matter if they're done, they're going to launch, or they've come up with this mindset that we'll just patch it out later. Or the lesson they learned from Cyberpunk 2077 is you can release a piece of crap game, get a bunch of money from it, and then fix it later. You know, like they learned the wrong lesson from 2077, and it's you know, like we see this more and more and more, but it's not something we should fall into. It's not something we should fall into. Let me scroll up a little bit. Promotion, what's that, right? What's the thing you do before you stream instead of doing it when you're like, oh, I'm currently streaming, I should probably tell somebody. That's what I do. Layoffs as people seek refunds. Yes, like literally, it's people are absolutely just yeah, it's bad. Not a fan of doing a raid alone. Yeah, that's I mean, you know what? I think it's fun when you raid, but yeah, I can see from the other side kind of going, you know what? It just feels weird being the only one to show up, and there's a raid announcement. That's why I have two raid announcements. One is for over 4 viewers or over 5 viewers, and one is for below. So if you raid in and you're under 4, I think it is, or 4 and under, you'll get like a honk, and then hello, good to see you. The lights will do some stuff, but it won't take up the whole stream. However, if you come in and you have over that amount, we'll get more celebratory. It's a bit more, you know, engaged, because I want to celebrate the fact that you are raiding in, but I also don't want to give a bunch of time for someone who's coming in and only, you know, brought 1, 2, 3 people with them, and it's, you know, the same amount of, I don't know, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying. Can't do lo-fi in streams. Yeah, dude, I can't anymore either. Makes me sleepy. Chrono Odyssey is a great real-time example of this. Is it? I don't know much about it, but I know that it's people have high expectations. Chrono says, I like what I played. Got an Iron Man simulator and the combat was fun. Oh, good. Yeah. Kirk says, this is what happened to me on Path of Exile 2. Game is not done and I'm bored now. Oh, really interesting. Anthem had a lot of potential, and I also enjoyed what I played. But, right? Yeah. Some things you can never learn in advance, you have to learn on the job. Chrono says, I've been so reluctant to change my overlays because of the time needed and what I have been using works. And yeah, see, I like changing stuff. I like messing with stuff. It's one of the things that I've always enjoyed is the design part of it and making it look cool. And it never looks right to me. No matter what I do, no matter how much I've worked on it, it never looks right to me. And so therefore it's just kind of this never ending job. But yeah, it can make me crazy and make it so that I spend all my time doing something that actually doesn't bring any value to the viewer, and wastes a bunch of time that I have. So it takes it away from things I could be doing that are better. But I still think that if your overlays are, super old, then having a relaunch or doing the overlays or changing them up or having some kind of new logo change or something like that can add a little bit of fresh excitement to the stream and get people interested. And at least your stalwarts, right? It looks pretty cool and it's something to talk about. So I'm in the closed creator beta for Chrono Odyssey, quite possibly the worst game I've ever played. Oh no. Really? Oh wow. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna do another poll. Actually, you know what? Can I ask someone to do a poll for me? Here's the poll answers. Would you mind doing that, either Samus or Ukulele? Those are the three choices. I want to see what people say. It's funny because for me, I'm both. It's a bad combo. I'm a perfectionist who wants everything to be like just real, to work perfectly and be exactly right. Maybe we should put a both on there. The balance or both. They put a fourth one called both. Rushing. I'm also really excited to share, and I do a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of things going, and I just, I want to get it out there, and so I can do both errors. I'm trying to grow though. I'm trying to be a better boy. I usually will post as soon as I make something and do well for that, but with an editor, I hate how long it takes for stuff to go up to the point where the post isn't even relevant. Yeah, well, you're doing stuff that's pretty up to date sometimes, right? Like this is what happened yesterday, or this is an update that occurred, or this is what's happening in that zone, and so therefore it goes away after a week. So yeah, that it is time sensitive. Dear God, I have had to allow things to be good enough. I'm a perfectionist, which is really trauma response to being made me feel really unworthy as a child. Yeah, and it's, to me, the perfectionism comes from a sense of hospitality, right? Thank you, I appreciate that. It comes from a sense of hospitality. I want it to be good. I want it to be something that you enjoy. I want it to be something that you are you want to share with others. That's, I don't want it to be uncomfortable. I want the audio to be good and the video to be good, and I want it all to be good. But the rush comes from the fact that I'm usually doing 20 things, and I know for a fact that if I don't do more, right? If I don't do more or get it out, rather, if I don't get it out, I will start doing other things and it'll never be done. Case in point, I have 50,000 Post-it notes with great ideas on them that are never going to get done. And they're just never going to happen. But they're all a bunch of good ideas that I want to do and could pick up at any point. Yeah, so if I turn blue, by the way, that's when a poll is happening. So if you see my room is blue, we're doing poll. No, I have no idea what crab gold is. No idea. This Post-it right here that says crab gold, not a clue. I'm hoping that someday someone says crab gold, or I come back around to the post that shows, at some point. Yeah, okay, we'll keep that poll going. In the meantime, please do check out the polls. I'd love it if you guys engaged. If you're there and you're listening, throw an answer in. What do you mean traps you? Like, what is your bad habit? Which traps me? What did I say? I'm trying to think of what I said. As in, oh, which trap? Oh, as in what keeps you from progressing, or what pulls you away from something that you should be able to do? As in, like, you're stuck in a realm of perfectionism, which keeps you from doing the good thing, or you are trapped by brushing it out. And he's like, I should hold it back, but the trap is my sense of urgency. I don't want to get it out there. The trap, I will have a deadline, but I miss it because I feel like I can't submit the work till it's perfect. Yeah, I'm stuck behind the wall of perfectionism, or I am trapped in a realm of not releasing good stuff because I keep rushing it out, right? I think we all are going to lean one way or the other, but I know that it's also a For some people, I'm trying to find balance. For me, it's a good exercise for me to be doing this website. Like when I go to the website, I'll show you. See what it says staging right here? The staging. So when I go to the website, where's my design appearance editor? I have all these ideas of things I want to do, right? Like I have all these things I want to do, and it's been a pain. Like for example, putting this picture next to this thing here, like I'm trying to figure it all out on the fly and make it look good and make it not look super dumb and be proper colors and things like that. Like I want it to be cool, but it's not cool right now. It is just kind of a mess. And it's like, it's got, see, like this overlay here is great, but it doesn't dynamically change. And so therefore, how do I do that? You know, like I've got to wait for, you know, right now the live stream can actually show on my website, which I think is cool. It shows my latest video, which I think is cool. It's got all my latest posts on there, right? It's I think it's got good ideas, but it's undercooked. Part of me wants to just kind of go, you know what? You know, I'll fix it later. But my exercise is me holding it back, so that I can launch it and be excited about it. Be really, really excited about it. That's what I want. But to ask a random non sequitur and the typing of it made a decision. Thank you for helping. Okay, good. You're welcome. All right, next one here. Let's talk about Stellar Blade, because why not? Oh, how's that? Boop. There we go. So I saw an article, Stellar Blade as told by Steam reviews, and it was really interesting. This quote here, this is the quote that made me want to talk about it. Is it tied? Oh no, rushing. Okay, rushing is the big one. Oh, interesting. I would have thought that perfectionism would have won out, but yeah, interesting. That's cool. Okay, so this quote here, came for gooner reasons, stayed for gamer reasons. That that line, I thought was something that we can learn about. We as content creators can learn about, and there's a teaching point there. In that you look at a game like Stellar Blade, and you can easily see it as something that is, it's just, you know, flash. It's just, you know, pretty girls and tight clothes and whatever, and it's just gooners who want to go play this game, and it has no substance or whatever. But that is not the story of Stellar Blade, right? So Stellar Blade, all the controversy was around how the characters are so pretty, or that, you know, like it's so much skin, or there's so much reveal. It's all, you know, it's all like fetish wear and things like that. But what ended up happening, as people were playing it and as people found it, they discovered it was actually a good game, right? Like it was, yes, it was old school, and yes, it was kind of Souls-like-ish, whatever, which means it already had a segment of people who won't play it like me. As much as I like sci-fi, and as much as, you know, I'll take a waifu, the idea of it being too hard it's a turnoff for me. It's a turnoff for me. And so therefore I probably will never play it. But it also had a half decent story. It also had a half decent setup, and then a really good fun gameplay. Stellar Blade succeeded because it looked good and played well. There's a lot of games though, and a lot of things, a lot of streamers, a lot of people, a lot of et cetera, that try really hard to make things visually good, or they try really hard to make the game good, but they don't have visuals, or they tried really hard on the visuals, but they don't have a good game. And I want to talk about that a little bit. And I want to bring sort of a point for content creators out of it. People shame the main character, mocap actor. I know. I don't know why you'd... Yeah, exactly. It's like, that really is a person. I don't actually play modern games other than pinball, but I have followed this war that has been happening. A lot of modern games intentionally uglifying the women and that made gamers mad. So many of the AAA games flopped due to overall rejection. It's I don't want to get into that controversy necessarily, because it is something. There are people out there that are like, why does Horizon Zero Dawn, why did they take, I can't remember her name. Anyway, main character, and why does she look like that? I don't really care. I played Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought she looked very realistic. I thought that she played well and the game was fun. Didn't really consider her look, what level of 1 to 10 attractiveness she was at. Clearly that's not the same as Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is created by people who, their other games really are, it's just exaggerated women and the gameplay, right? This here, what it ended up being both, to everyone's surprise. You seen the picture of the most popular games of the year being anti-woke? No, I haven't. Send me that. I'll take a look at it. So there's a bunch of examples out there of games that tried for this style, whether it be Gooner Bait, or whether it be they wanted to look really cool, or whether or not they just had really cool RTX graphics or whatever. They used the latest version of Unreal Engine, but ultimately the game was boring as flip and it died. Why is Stellar Blade different? The Stellar Blade is different because it did both, right? You did both. It looked really cool, and it also played really cool. We wouldn't be talking about it. It wouldn't be as popular. It wouldn't be in the news. We wouldn't be if it wasn't for the fact that it was a good game too, right? It runs really well. The my favorite thing that the Gurk that they did is there's a mod that makes it so that the parry time is like twice as long or something. Yeah, I could maybe do that. It makes the parry easier, which I think is great. Western game studios want full DEI woke, whatever you want to call it. Games lecture the players, and even worse, the developers scolding their audience on social media. They will flop. Yeah, you're right. People don't like that. They don't respond to that. And in fact, what's ironic is that if they didn't, make it about that, it wouldn't matter. You can fit in a character of any shape, size, color, whatever, as long as they fit the story and fit the game. But if they don't, and they look like they've been shoehorned in, it's just people are going to react. But that's true of anything, right? If you play a game and it's got something in it that makes no sense for being there, it's clearly, like, for example, if you have a game and you have a game that you say it's got 40 hours of gameplay, people start playing it and they discover that half of the playtime is repetitive nonsense, where you're just like you're putting people through the paces and they're doing stuff that doesn't make any sense, or they're doing stuff that wastes their time. They will be upset. Why? Because you put things in the game that they don't want to do. Why did you do that? For manipulative, stupid, dumb reasons, to be able to say your game has more playtime. That is just going to make gamers mad. That's the same thing as you stuck in a character that had no reason for being there. You stuck in a bunch of language or a bunch of story elements or whatever that had no business being there. They didn't fit the story. They didn't fit the conversation, right? It just felt like it was shoehorned in for no reason. Nobody likes that. You watch a movie, you play a game, you listen to music, whatever, it doesn't matter. If there's a section that is like, why did they do that? That doesn't make any sense. They clearly have sold out, or they've clearly lost their mind, or didn't make any sense. People get upset. They don't like that. They want to know that what you've created is something that comes from you to them. That's why I love pinball games so much. No drama or politics. That's funny. I'm not comfortable playing games with scantily clad women or men. Yeah, and that's fine. And I'm not saying you should play Stellar Blade. I'm saying we should learn from the fact that style over substance, or substance without style, both of those are a mistake. We have a problem with American TV shows dedicated to social messages rather than a story. And it's actually interesting if you look at the reason why. There is a financial incentive for these folks to have all the messaging in there because it affects their stocks. It's a whole thing. Go ahead and look it up. Essentially, the way that it worked, but I think it was like 7-8 years ago, or maybe 10. They're one of the big stock market people, big financiers, some big thing that had all the money. They said the way, we're going to rate people according to their ethics and according to their social message and whatnot. And if you don't do that, your rating will go down, and then not as many people will invest in you. So people are like, oh crap, we better do that. And it altered the way that media works. Why? Not because they wanted to change the message. It was because that they wanted to make sure that their investors were happy and they had their good investor number. That's what ended up screwing them all up. Go ahead and look that up. I'm not gonna, but it's there. Okay. The lesson here, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I will say that I believe that as a small streamer, as a small creator, you can grow if you have a basic setup and your content has substance, right? If you look at all the biggest content creators that are out there, whether it be Asmongold or otherwise, I think he's a great example, but there are also many others. They don't have a lot of spit and polish. They don't have all the stuff crap I do, right? The cool looking frame and all the graphics and slides and neon and whatnot. I love all that stuff. I think it's cool. They don't have any of it. This is them, a square count and like a default font. That's all it is. Well, why? Because their content, the substance of their content is actually very attractive to people. So people like watching it. I think you can grow if you have decent audio and, I'll turn a light on kind of thing. You don't have to have stellar blade levels, awesome coolness. You don't have to look amazing. You don't have to look like the best VTuber out there if you have substance. However, I also believe that good design, clean audio, visual clarity, having a theme, having a style will get you noticed, right? It's like a thumbnail on YouTube. You can have the greatest video of all time. If it's got a terrible thumbnail, people aren't going to click on it. Same thing if you have the greatest thumbnail of all time and they go into the video and it's blah, they're not going to watch it. You need both, right? Both are important. If you have to choose between substance and style, choose substance, obviously. But I don't think it's a virtue for you to say, I look bad on purpose, right? I want my stuff to look bad. I don't really care about that. I don't care if I have good lighting. I don't care if I have good sound. I don't care if I have, I have visuals or whatever. All I care about is just what I'm going to say. And I think that's not, it's not playing the game. And I don't think it's honoring your viewers well. It's the opposite of I only care about how I look, but I don't care about what I say. That's worse. But I still think it matters. Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that? Would you agree that you need both? Or do you feel as though, as Christian content creators, that you could lean too heavy towards visual? Like, what's your thought when it comes to Christian content creators and the visual style and the importance of, lights and looks and stuff? Do you think that we should have a theme and a style and good stuff? Or do you think that is too much? To look more authentic, we should look, a little worse. Hello, Potato. Good to see you. But Ransom says one can wish women were more clothed and that they weren't uglified. Too many critics on both sides confuse the two. There you go. Back to the perfectionist conversation. I took 2-year break from the clockwork because I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted it to. So after a break and using AI to help me, it got it good enough, and now I can crank out features almost no time. Yeah, there you go. But you still, you have an idea and it wasn't implementing, and so you took a break because it was frustrating. But now you're having more fun with it. That's good. Kirk says most of the big creators only blew up from networking. They were 1 to 5 viewer people before networking, as in who they stream with. Is that what you're talking about? Oh. The best part of this channel, in my opinion, are discussions like this one, and that's I agree. We're discussing, but the question is, if it was this, is it as good? Right? Actually, well, hold on. We could do this. There. If it was just this, right? Would it have as much value or not? I don't know if I want that answer, quite frankly, because this is, to me, this is the barest amount. You know, this is the bare minimum. I even have a logo on here because I couldn't help myself. I could not have the black space here and not have something in it. Today we're talking about a few things. We've been talking about viewer retention. Been talking about the mind's eye disaster and the importance of launching and perfectionism versus rushing it out. And now we're talking about the how Stellar Blade is both, you know, very shiny but also very good, and what we can learn from that as content creators. And that our basic setup can be good enough, but when it comes to design, do you think how important it is? I think it is somewhat important. That was loud. That's it. I think both are important. And again, I think I'm belaboring the point, but I think both are important. And I will overdo the look. Like when I do my gaming thing, right? This is a lot. Like there are things going on that you may not even notice. Like if you look way up to the top, you notice how the stars are sparkling? Have you ever noticed that before? Probably not. Another thing you probably have never noticed and will never notice is that the skyline is Ottawa, like my hometown. You don't notice that the Parliament buildings are in there from Ottawa. You would never notice that, but I made sure it was part of that. You know, the neon, colors, the me having I don't know. Like it's just I like all that stuff. Is it distracting? Some could argue. Maybe. Stop it! I need to turn that off. It does that every time I go to the one screen. I'm a minimalist. I think I'm a minimalist personally. I want things to look nice, but I don't want to have too much on the screen. And I don't know when to stop adding. That's how I am. I will keep adding and adding and adding and adding and
Shut
adding
up
and
and
adding.
take my money.
Pretty people have it easier in life blowing up, and if you aren't pretty, you have to work. You have to work 10 times harder for a lesser result. I think it'll get you in the door easier. Being physically attractive or being really good at something, like it's in like the visual side of it. I think it'll get you in the door. I don't think it'll let you keep it in the door unless you are top 0.001% in level of attractiveness. I think it'll open the door, but it won't let people keep you. You won't stay in the door. You need to have something else going on. The polish isn't necessary, says Ransom. But it does affect the streamer's ethos, shows he's skilled and pays attention. I think the same thing. Actually, that's a good point, Ransom. I wasn't going to make that point. And that is that your first impression of a stream is going to be the look. Like when I look at, I don't know if I should do this or not, but if I go to Twitch and then I go to just chatting and I go through essentially, let's just go to the top. I don't want to judge anybody, but if you go through the top, you're not going to see much, right? You're not going to see much. Most of the top is actually what I would call very poor looking. It doesn't look good at all. It's just some dude and then his screen, and then some dude and a screen, some dude and a screen, some dude and a screen. And like how far down you got to go before you can find something that's a bit more technical. I guess a VTuber is the most technical, but even that's pretty basic, right? Like how far until you actually have to see an overlay? There, right there. Like that's effort, man. There's effort there. See the bottom, it looks kind of cool. It's got a little timer. It's got like neon. It's got color. That's cool. I think that's really, really cool. But most aren't, right? Most aren't like that. if you go to small streamers, like really small streamers, like the ones that we know, generally they'll put a lot more effort in. And it just kind of seems one-to-one when it comes to a streamer that isn't putting any effort in, doesn't care, doesn't care about views, doesn't care about nothing, isn't willing to put the work in. Usually looks like the ones that are at the very, very top. And then if you're in the middle, they're usually pretty elaborate, right? You're 20 to partner to maybe 100 kind of thing. They usually have a pretty elaborate stream. And then later it gets less elaborate. I don't know. It's interesting. I DM the meme to you. Not sure if you want to show it, but it's funny. I'll see it. I'll look at it later. Is there ominous music playing? Oh, you mean from the thing? Yeah. It's meant to be newsy. Almost feels like a breaking news graphic. That's the idea. That's what I'm shooting for. Breaking news. That's right. Add more like chat or something, but I'm always very hesitant to add too much. And I'm the opposite. I will continue to add until there's nothing left. Like just clogged. God bless you. Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Thank you for the blessing. Very kind of you. Chrono, I sometimes feel like I put too much work into my own. See, the thing is, I'm really attracted to how yours looks. I think yours looks amazing. Now, maybe it could be argued that that's not what people are doing anymore. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm just an old guy who's doing old things the old way. And you could make an argument that we should all be simplifying. Like it really all should look like I had shown before. And it's what it should look like. But I don't know. Maybe not. I'd love to hear. Okay, so can we come up with a poll? I'm going to come up with a poll. See if I can come up with a question. Should streams look elaborate? No. What would be a good question? How important are visuals to content success? Very, somewhat, not very, not at all. There. I don't know if that'll work. But essentially, I'm just kind of asking you the question. Well, that's the elaborate. I would consider mine to be elaborate. I would consider Chrono to be elaborate. I'd consider, like a lot of the ones that we follow to not be so much. Like they have a lot less going on than I do. Aki is extremely elaborate. Lots going on, right? Lots of visuals, multiple cameras, lots of things happening, 3 games at once, multiple streamers, multiple like 3 different voices happening, sometimes 4. Like he's very elaborate. And obviously has seen a lot of success. I would say that Susie, very elaborate. A lot of elaborate, a lot of look and shine and sparkle to his. I feel the same way. Maybe I'm just old. I could be. I mean, it could be us, right? Like not necessarily that it's good. It's just it's the way that old people think, and that it needs to be shiny. Old people being like, I don't know, in their 40s. If all small streamers are doing it and big ones are not, does that mean that we should not be doing it because we should be trying to emulate the bigger views? Actually, I would say that it's a rite of passage. That happens a lot in different places. Is in the early days, you're very elaborate. You've got a lot going on. You got your menu is complicated. The way that you serve things is complicated. The way that you design things is complicated. And as you get more successful, you simplify. Right now, you got a smaller menu. Now you've got a smaller system. You've cut a lot of the fat, and it ends up being a lot less elaborate. I think that's just a way that things happen. But I wonder if the elaborate nature is part of the growing process to find out whether or not what is important. What's the most important thing? I did finally start working on audio on Sunday. I think that difference is huge. Audio is number one. You get audio wrong, there's no point in streaming. People have to be able to hear you. People don't want the stream to look like an advertisement because it feels like corporate TV, no longer like a real person. Okay, interesting. So these logos right here, is that bad? I think spending too much time on overlays, widgets, and alerts isn't what brings people unless your stream is about overlays, widgets, and alerts. I think the way that I would phrase it is that it needs to have a reason. It needs to have a purpose, right? Like why do you have that alert? What's the community, what's the content reason for it? Like when I have a raid, I'm excited that a raid's coming in. That's why everything goes nuts, right? When I do, so both. All right, interesting. So somewhat interesting, very interesting. So like when the lights change and stuff like that, that's partly because I'm a nerd and I like having cool things happen like that, but also because I want a visual cue that something's happening. And when it comes to all the other stuff that goes on, I have a lot that happens. I've often thought of just completely removing all channel points because there are a lot of times that they are a distraction. The reason I haven't yet is because they're a way for some of them are a way for the community to tell a joke or to connect to the content that I'm doing in a funny way. Like for example, if you did, like Let It Go or whatever, like Give Up. Playing Give Up is funny, and it funny most of the time. Or having some kind of way that like the dumb ways to die. It's funny. Because it fits in and it's part of the way that the community can tell me and can connect to the content that I'm doing. So therefore, I think it's important in that way. But I think some of them are distracting. Some of them are kind of pointless, and some of them are just kind of get in the way, and they don't have a purpose. But I think some of them do. But I've thought about just kind of getting rid of them altogether, because especially in the content that I'm doing now, where we're talking about like we're talking, there's no reason for it at all. Wow, I'm way behind in chat. Forgive me. How do you personally balance what you want to do with your art? Hey, Caster, sorry. How do you personally balance what you want to do and your art with audience preference? I think it has to come from me. I have to be interested in it. I have to like it. I have to want it on there. Like, I shouldn't have a synthwave aesthetic. I couldn't. If I were to do an aesthetic that I would say would be based around my content the way it should be, it would be a lot more simple. And it would, there'd be like a library behind me, and I'd be like sitting in a chair, or that, I don't know, something. It wouldn't look like I've got all this stuff going on. It's distracting, but it's me. I love synthwave. One of the things that streaming has allowed me to be is myself, right? Is it's allowed me to kind of say, I'm a Christian. I'm a nerd. I like purple. I like video games. I like doing stuff. I talk about serious things. I love jokes. I think some of it, all that stuff, is really, really good. But I also think that it's important for me to that if it's only me, as in like if just because I like it, it's on there, and it's annoying or frustrating or distracting, as in it pulls attention away or causes people to not want to watch, I think that's going to be a problem. Like, for example, someone said, like, when it came to church services, right? So you pretend that the church service is holding a tambourine, and you trying to hold this tambourine, and you use it, and it complements what's going on. The little things are happening. It's fine. It's being used well. What you don't want to do is drop the tambourine, by which it meant like there's a section or something happens in the service, or in the, on the stage or something that just causes like a crash distraction. You want to keep the vibe. You want to keep things going. You want to keep it smooth. And as soon as you kind of drop that tambourine and it goes, and there's a big noise and people are distracted, you kind of pull them out of their, it takes a little while for them to get back into the zone, whether it be listening to the sermon or singing the songs or hearing the announcements or taking or talking to each other or whatever it is. You're trying to remove those barriers of distraction. I think that's true for any form of communication, is that if anything that you're doing when you're communicating that is pulling away from the communication is working against you. Anything that goes towards it and allows people to understand it better or see it better or experience it better or to learn it better, whatever it is helping. So when it comes to art, when it comes to this, I have, like this thing here, I show my notes. Why do I show my notes? Because there are people out there that want to see that they're visual. They like seeing words. I show my notes. For most things, I show my notes. And then when it comes to like the chat, people, I believe people want to see their words on stream. They want to, so when they type, they want the visual confirmation that it showed up. I think that's important. I think that's something that people find sort of critical, right? As in they need to be able to see it, which is why everybody does it. I have a million things going on. So I have the announcements thing. I forget to do the announcements most of the time. I can't remember to do them. And so I'm trying to find a passive way to show you guys what's going on. And hopefully over the course of 4 hours, whatever the thumbnail that shows up down there, announcement, will show you what's going on. And then I won't have to try to remember. It's not easy for me. I get too distracted. So it has purpose, but at the same time, if it's ugly or pulling people away or whatever, I think that'd be a problem. You like the logos, Chrono? That's cool. Tech writer me likes simplicity. Even minimalism can be good. Yes. Oh, I think if anything, Apple has proved, or a lot of the brands have proved, minimalism is probably preferred these days. I won't say it's bad. I'll say it's not my preference. And my ADD goes rampant when there's logos and stuff everywhere. What I want to do, I actually am going to change this. These things here are really big. What I want to do is I want to put them along the top get them out of the way. But I've got a lot of things I want to do. A lot. And I think having the sponsors there is important, but I also think if it pulls away from the actual content, that's not as good. And there's ways to do it. Like I can have, I got to get rid of that. We're not doing that anymore. There's ways I can do it. Put it into the rotation here and don't have it on screen. Just trying new things. Stole it from Susie, actually. Saw Susie had it, thought it was cool, stole it from him. I never thought about showing words on stream because I see them on the side of the screen in the chat box already. I don't ever have that on. If I watch you guys on TV, if you're a streamer, I don't have chat on. It pulls the thing to the side, it goes over top. I don't get to see half the thing that you're looking at. Like if it was mine right now, I think it would cover basically a third of the article. Like it doesn't serve the visuals well. So I put it on stream. But I can see an argument for both sides. Why not? Make you wish I knew how to do the arts. I can't art. I don't art either. I paid for all my art. Everything, this frame I paid for, the this purple thing I bought off Etsy, everything I gave money to some artist somewhere because I don't art good. Test would be to do if you can't see the logo or element of a stream on an iPhone screen, then it should be removed. Yeah, maybe, but like that'd be pretty small. Okay, so that's that. All that to say, I think it's both. Stellar Blade proves to me that you have to have substance, and style will get you places. I think both matter. There you go. I didn't like purple till I saw all the cool stuff. I'll take that. For me, the chat, the community, the big element of whatever live stream is. Yes, exactly. That is it. It's the community, the people for our content, or the content we do. For some people, it's not going to be. Like, for example, if you're a drummer and you got neon all over the place and it looks cool and there's no chat, it's because you're a drummer and people are watching you drum. Or you're a DJ, it's not as prevalent because you're DJing. It's not about the chat. So I can see that being different. But for our content, I think in the same, one good lesson would be next time you're doing shorts or you're doom scrolling or you're going through Instagram or you're going through whatever, what causes you to stop, right? When you're flipping through, what causes you to stop? And if it's not something you like, if it's not considering things you already know, or like a TV show you already like, or a content creator you already know is good, stuff you don't know yet. When you flip it up and you've never seen this person before and they start talking and you stay there, what made you stay? What was it the fact that you're like, oh, these guys, this is, really good camera, really good sound, or because they looked a certain way, or because the way that their framing was? Like, what made you stop long enough to give them a chance? And also, when you see and you go past one on your shorts and you think, you just like immediately, like just like go, gone. What made it so that you just got rid of that one? You didn't even give them a chance. Was it because they had bad lighting? Was it because they had, some kind of annoying thing happening? Was it because it was off center, the framing was wrong? Was it because they had text all over the place and it just looked like garbage? Like, what made it you immediately go, I'm never watching that. I don't care what you're saying. I don't like that. And whatever you do when it comes instinctually to that, and I do this all the time, I try to go, okay, I hated that. Gone. Why did I hate that? Well, usually it's because there's too much like distraction. The framing is garbage and the lighting is wrong. And I don't care. I need good lighting. Otherwise, I'm not going to believe you know what you're doing, regardless of what you do. It's just my bias. Is it better for a streamer? Okay, here's the question from Girk. Is it better for a streamer to provide content and entertainment to a chat, or have the streamer make the content out of their chat? If they have no chat, there isn't really content. I noticed creators like Asmongold balance two ideas really well, but that other just chat streamers only go off their chat, and it seems like the chat is the one providing the entertainment for the streamer or viewer. I think it has to do, it has to do with what you're good at. I think that has to do with what you're good at. There are going to be people out there who don't need, they can just jump off one thing and they can talk for a long time and be interesting for a long time. I think Asmongold is probably one of those guys. He's able to go to chat when he needs to get a little bit of a spark to another thing, but then he's able to go off and talk about it. Same thing with Moist Critical. Same thing with I don't know very many. Still learning the those kind of streamers. I tend to avoid them because I don't want gossip and I don't want drama, which they tend to run on. So I tend to avoid them. But but I'm trying to learn from them since they know what they're doing and I'm trying to learn. So I would say it depends on what you're good at. If you're really good at interacting with chat and you're able to make them feel engaged and you're able to make them feel good, you're able to be helpful, it's part of it, then great. I know some people are really bad at reading chat. For them, someone will go by and they won't answer the question, or they don't use it as a jumping off point, or they don't really, just kind of, oh, okay. And then they move on, and it just completely ignore whatever it was. And other people, they are really bad at coming up with stuff to talk about. They need something, and they're really good at communicating like a conversation with chat. I think it depends on what you're good at. I would say that for me, what I've learned is that I have, I can show you what I'm doing right now. Here. So I have, for this stream, my segments laid out, my little points that I have put together, some ideas for polls, and some basic notes for me to jump into. And so when I kind of start running out of stuff, I lean over to it and I kind of look at the next thing and then I talk about that. I'm fairly okay, I think, at just going off of a note and just talking about it for whatever way in et cetera, et cetera. I do the same thing with chat. I can grab one piece of something he says and just kind of go off. And yet at the same time, if I didn't have any notes and I did, and chat was slow, I wouldn't have anything to say. I would just stand here with my finger up my nose, hoping that somebody would say something. I wouldn't be able to do it. I think the message is important and how sincerely it's communicated. Someone who has authenticity to them draws me more than visuals. 90% of my subs on Twitch have visual effects. Yes. That goes to what we're talking about with Stellar Blade, right? That's style or substance. It's both, right? I think if you have a lot of substance, you can probably go with a lot less style. And if you have, not a lot of substance, you can try to compensate by making it look super cool. But if you can find that balance between the two, where you have style and you have substance, where it looks good and you're interesting, it looks good and you are compelling and it draws people in, then yeah, for sure. I just realized that my chat died, and I'm wondering why you guys weren't talking. Because my chat program died. Ugh. Why is nothing ever any good? Refresh. I need to add more shiny. Well, it depends, right? Like, so come to Chrono's stream and I say hello to Chrono. Hello, Chrono. If Chrono doesn't say hello back to me, I'm like, he doesn't like me. He's not my friend. I don't want to be here anymore. Right? Because you're the kind of streamer who I want to get acknowledged by. You know what I mean? That I want you to say hello to me. I don't need you to hang on my every word, but I want you to know that I'm there. Right? Whereas there are some other creators that I will just show up and I will just sit there and listen because I don't expect them to hear me. They're usually either super busy or they're playing a game that is engaging, or they just have a beautiful voice. I always think of Empress Chronicle, who is not that anymore. Chronicle of the Stars, I think she's called now. Doesn't matter. Turn her on and doesn't matter what she says. She could read the phone book and I would sit there and listen to her. And it would, but most people I want, if you're going to be engaging and you want to talk, I want you to know I'm there. If you can prompt yourself. Yeah. XN didn't fully catch what you said on channel points, like channel points a lot. And to be honest, I often lurk more for the channel points than in the stream. Removing them or not having pricey redeems aim for to use them on, it can be less appealing to lurk there. I like that they are rewarding for you to being on the channel, but channel points can have a big distraction, me included. Just there for channel points. I'm at 490k saving for the 1 million total, but keeping the watch streak or joining them, leaving the raid just for channel points. So I would say that the way to put this is different people are motivated by different things. Obviously, there are some people out there that are collectors. They want the points, doesn't matter what they want, and they want to be rewarded for collecting. You better give them something, right? You better give them something. Other people, they don't care about that. What they're there for is that, like, if they never got a channel point and never used a channel point, they wouldn't care. What they care about is whether or not you know they're there and that you are looking at them and you making them feel like they're special. Other people couldn't care less about channel points, couldn't care less about the engagement. All they care about is that you are interesting and funny, or funny, right? They are there because they want you to say funny stuff and do interesting things, and they just want to watch, and they don't need you to acknowledge their existence, and you don't need to use channel points. I think of a lot of the big Twitch streamers that play games. The heck's the freaking name? What's his name? He's probably on right now. No, he's not. Dang it. There's an Irish guy, I can't remember his name. He's really good at streaming. He's very funny, but he doesn't have any he doesn't have any channel points. I don't even think he talks to chat. Hardly ever. He talks sometimes, but hardly ever. And the reason is because he's just really funny, right? He's just really good at what he does, and nobody cares. So I think it will depend on anybody, on what they want. I think the reason I do the stickers is because I want you to lurk. What I want from you, this is another side of it, is it depends on what I want from you, right? If I want you to chat with me, I better engage with chat. If I want you to watch, I better be engaging. If I want you to lurk, I better give you a reason to lurk. right? So therefore, there are people who are like, I'm here to lurk. I want a sticker, right? I will just go on there because I want the sticker and I want to see the number go higher. And other people, they couldn't care less about that. They want to know that I'm there and they want to know that I'm communicating with them and they've got some issue or they want to talk about something. And for others, like, man, you're my radio. I don't care what you look like. I don't even look at the screen. I have you minimized. You're in my car. You're in my pocket, right? I don't care. What I care about is you talking, having decent audio, and being interesting. It all depends. Can you please all the people all the time? No, I don't think you can. But I also think that you can, you should consider whether or not you do provide. I'm gonna sit down. Give me a second, and then I'll read. I can tell when I start wandering back and forth that I need to sit down. Wobbly. I get wobbly. Yep. This thing is broken. That's annoying. Hold on, I gotta close ground control. Yeesh. Can be a downside to them. I've heard from one community that when they raid, they ask for the 2-minute drill to stay after the raid for at least 2 minutes to support them and give them a chance, if you may like. Then go on your way. I like this idea, but even this, I'm less inclined to do. I like channel points a lot, but I can't understand their downsides. So yeah, like I said, but I would like, the 2-minute drill thing, I think is great, but y'all have to remember they're watching you. And I've been doing the raid thing. I raided every stream except for maybe like 6 in my whole career. I raid every single time. And doesn't matter how many people I raid in with, doesn't matter how many people that they have. It'll be, wow, that's really cool, and then back down. You know, usually you'll lose 80% of the people you raided in with within a very short period of time. Why? Because they're there to watch you. And unless you raid into somebody who's very similar content or very similar vibe or very, you know, like sort of has some kind of, I don't know, thing going on that's at least relatively interesting, they're done. And they're going to go find whatever their next thing is. It's raids to me have always been a compliment. It's a way that I compliment another streamer. I don't think that I'm going to grow their influence, and I don't think I'm going to grow their you know, like on my back. I think it's just my way of saying I think you're cool. You know, hey community, come over and just make these people feel good for a second. But I don't think it necessarily grows with any kind of substance your viewer count very much. Maybe a little bit. Ransom, yeah, already got the 500k. Yeah, you guys can flex all you want, yeah. If you redeemed one sticker, I would assume it would be the 250. You know what? I'm going to ask a poll question that just came up. Poll. Here. It's about channel points. So, should I remove remove channel point redeems other than stickers? Okay, here's a poll, and the poll is basically, do you think I should delete all the goofy stuff and just leave the stickers on? Would it affect you at all? Kind of curious. Like there's something to do to use the 50k on, but stream isn't about channel points. Still engage. Yeah, if you can go to the fish channel, like Dustin's fish channel. It doesn't engage you. And you can get all the channel points you want. So some people are going to want that. Other people don't care. Some people love that because it's just, for them, it's some zen. And they like that channel. It all depends, you can't please everybody. Agree. I'm here for the discussion and to hear your thoughts, pastoral ministry, to chatters, lives, and the personality you have. Yeah, you're here for me, not the channel points and not the colors, right? Yeah. That's how I treat raids. If you like me, enjoy this other person who is way better than me at this. Or, well, see, I treat it as basically like, hey, it's my way of blessing a streamer, or saying I like you, streamer, or to bolster a little energy to their stream. That's what I do. I don't think I'm changing anybody's lives. You could make them contextual, remove them when you don't need them, bring them back when you want them. I forget to bring them back. That's the problem. I don't remember to turn them back on. I missed the explosion channel redemption. I know. I've had some really fun ones. And there's some that are locked behind a paywall that you guys can't even access. Because I thought maybe it would get me some bits, but you know what? When I turned that on, nobody used it. This would have said it where you still collect channel points, but have not anything to use them on. Is there? Okay. And I like having them as a way to interact with. Yeah, big ways and key points. Exactly. Why is my transition XNNN? Because it's the XtianNinja News Network. Theoretically, I could have done that. I had 500k collected, but I redeemed the 3 smaller stickers first. Yeah. Made a big goofy CP redemptions, and everyone started grinding up for them and not using the other things that I got. I do that. Yeah. Actually, since the stickers are on there, I don't get very many. I don't get very many. Yeah. I must be tired. More rogue, quick. Power blue, baby. You have him biggin for your, yeah, because I'm dumb. Exactly. Anytime I can make my life a little easier by not being dumb. I try to automate everything. I automate my announcements. I automate as much as I can because I just get so locked in. I forget stuff. Okay. Next thing, we're going to talk about willpower. Big switch in our content. So, the myth of endless willpower. I'm going to play the short, and it's something we've talked about in the past. It just happens that this guy's talking about it as well, and it's a good reminder for all of us, okay? This is just a good reminder for everybody that willpower is finite.
Willpower is a fatigable, finite resource that usually gets replenished when you go to sleep. Okay, so we know this because we know there are a lot of studies that show that it is hard to use willpower to make the right decision when your frontal lobes are exhausted. So if you think about eating healthy, it is easier to eat healthy in the morning than it is at night when you're fatigued, right? So you can you pack your lunch in the morning, you go to work, but then by the end of the day, you're exhausted. You're tired. So let me play video games, let me eat unhealthy food. So we know that willpower runs out, and it has to run out, right? Because this is the other way to think about it, which is that if it never ran out, then doing willpower for the first 5 minutes would feel the same as 10 hours later. You could constantly exert willpower, and if it was not a fatigable resource, everything would be easy.
Okay. I want to remind you of that because it's a reason for you to understand why you do what you do and why you react the way you react and whatnot. It's important to remember because you're going to beat yourself up a lot. Like, man, why can't I do X, Y, Z? And the truth is, sometimes in your life, you will have a lot of things happening. And then by the time you get into, after work and you're like, man, I just want to get some stuff done. I said I'd get some stuff done, but I'm not getting things done. Or at the end of the day, or after school, or after whatever. And you get to a point where you're like, man, why can't I make myself do this stuff? I must be the worst. Truth is, if you look back at your day, right? You look back at how you spent your day, it very well could be that it's like, man, I spent the whole day, in fight or flight mode. I spent the whole day forcing myself not to freak out on somebody, or forcing myself to do work that I didn't want to do, or trying to have conversations, or making myself do things like make phone calls that I want to do, right? So if you've spent the whole day doing that, you come back and you're like, I can't make myself do the thing I said I'd make myself do. It's not necessarily a personality issue. It's not like you're a failure. It's that your willpower muscle is used up. And yes, you can make it stronger. You could learn how to do it more, but it's still tired. It's like you get to a place where your body, you can't pick up the weight anymore. Your body just won't do it anymore. You can have the same strength as when you walked into the room and you picked it up 10 times, but because you picked it up 10 times, you can't pick up the weight anymore. Same thing with your willpower. So you wouldn't beat yourself up because you're like, man, I can't pick that thing up anymore. And you're gonna be like, because I've already picked it up 10 times. That's why. But you do the same thing with willpower. The reason I can't seem to make myself do this thing, because I have been willpowering all day long. I think it's important to recognize that and to be able to kind of go, that's why either I need to figure this out or forgive myself or let myself rest or go, you know what? I need to figure out a way that I can fit in a rest. Like, yeah, go to sleep, you dingleberry. If you then you can kind of recharge your willpower a bit. But like, yeah, I think it's important. What's the difference between fatigue and willpower? You're tired. Fatigue just means you're tired. You can get tired of using willpower, just like you're tired of using your muscles or tired of thinking. You wouldn't think that thinking would make you tired, but the truth is we do. You like literally if you think too much, regardless of how much energy you spend, you can still feel tired because your brain is just done. And that's okay. Knowing that is important because it allows you to kind of say, my brain is fatigued, my willpower is fatigued, my decision making is fatigued, I don't want to make decisions anymore. And that's why my evenings go the way that they go. And that's why my diet is the way it is. That's why my suppers aren't very good. That's whatever. Like for me, during the day, I spend a lot of time holding it together. For stream, I'm holding it together. I'm working hard. I'm trying to make conversation. I'm trying to be interesting. I'm trying to, distract myself away from stuff. The morning I wake up, I get some kind of weird text that I really don't want to deal with, but I absolutely have to. And I get requests for things that and then all of a sudden I'm on stream and I'm preparing and doing stuff. And then afterwards, 4:00 comes and I'm done. And I go upstairs and I'm talking to the family, and the family's asking me stuff, telling me to do stuff. And we got to do this stuff. And did you forget about this stuff? Dad, can we do this stuff? And then, it's 6:00. I sit down and I'm like, man, I'm done. I don't want to be, I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm going to eat a carrot stick and I'm going to have all this self-control. I'm going to live on one pepperoni stick and that'll be fine. Because I've used it up. All the willpower and all the energy and all the positivity and all the self-control and all of the, the giving and all that patience, like it's all gone. I've used it up. 6:00, I don't have it anymore. I have to be careful, because I can get grumpy or I can get whatever. But there's a reason why that's happening. And I've just kind of said to myself, on days like that, something's going to give. And either I give in that I treat my family bad, or I don't follow through on the things that I said, or I don't do, or whatever, or I let myself slip in another way. It's cookie time. Exactly. And that's, I have to be okay with that because I'm a finite person. I'm human, and I have to be okay with recognizing that. Anyway, about a year ago, I came across a video titled "Video Games Blamed for Bad Parenting." I said, parents seem to want everyone else to parent their children like public schools. Then they get mad because their children are not raised correctly. If you're the parent, the buck stops here. Take responsibility and raise your own children. Do not make others do it, because if you're not careful, the legal system will do the parenting in the form of juvenile hall or prison. I was told, giving out parenting advice from your extensive experience, just like any other job, making pronouncements about the things with zero experience comes across very cringy. As in, you were giving advice, you don't have kids and you were giving parenting advice and someone pushed back on you? Is that what you're saying? Was anything else I said untrue? Does it not being a parent only reason to make it untrue? No. But when it comes to when it comes to complex stuff like parenting, Derek, the nuance matters. Okay, the nuance matters. If you have never experienced what it's like to have a child go absolutely bonkers on you, like just lost their flipping mind in the middle of a Walmart parking lot and won't even get off the ground, and you're like, you did nothing happen. You don't know what the heck is going on there. Then you kind of going, well, you just have to parent them better. Have you, all you have to do is just, what are they eating? What are they doing? What are they, sometimes kids just freak out. And if you don't have that sense of nuance and that sense of understanding of going, within normal, there's sometimes things that are abnormal, but at the same time, it's normal that they're abnormal. For example, like your teenager is gonna rebel. They're gonna push back on some stuff. They're gonna say some, they're gonna come up to you and say some horrible thing, or they're gonna say something really stupid, or they're gonna say, I want to do something selfish or dumb or whatever. I want to change my entire personality somehow. And the reason is because of their brain chemistry, right? So if you have these simple things, it doesn't matter if it's wrong. Like the correct answer of going, you know what, you're right. Have you just raised them up in the way that they should go? If you raise them up in the way they should go, they will not depart from it. That's what the Bible says. Are you saying God is wrong? Because they're departing from it. You did not raise them up in the way that they should go. Like, no, their brains are screwed up and they're teenagers, and that's just going to happen. That raise them up in the way they should go is an average over a period of time, over a long while. And it does like this, and that's normal. So I would say that what you said wasn't wrong, but the fact that you don't have the experience within the nuance of some of the kooky stuff that can happen as a parent reduces your authority and ability to give that opinion, right? I would say you could say the same thing, but in a more humble way, in that, I don't know what you said, right? But it'd be like, I don't have kids, but I remember learning online that, XYZ, that letting society parent your kids is bad, yeah, sure, you're not wrong. But implied in that, let me consider this. Within the person that you talked to and you said that to, are their kids in public school? Are you telling them their kids shouldn't be in public school? What are they supposed to do? It's a double income family. They can't afford their rent and they can't afford their car if they don't have double income. You're guilt tripping them so that they're guilt tripping them so they're putting their kids in public school? You're saying they're bad parents? Is that what you're saying? Or like, okay, so their kids are off in military, or they're off in a club and they're not being parented by them, and the club went sideways or something else. Are you saying my kids can't be part of a club? Is that what you're saying? Do I have to be part of it? Do I have to engage in everything? Do I not get a break? Can I not trust anyone out there? Is youth group not trustworthy? Is the Cub Scouts not trustworthy? Am I not allowed to send them off to anything? Is that what you're saying? Like the nuance is what's missing, right? The nuance is what's missing. And they're kind of going, well, within the context of, yeah, your kid's going to have a coach that is a jerk, and your kid's going to have a teacher that is, a crazy liberal person, and you're going to have friends that are all, big dumb stupid heads that are going to try to make them do dumb stuff. That's just going to happen. Yeah. But there's no way for that perfect all everything must be filtered through the parents. It's just not going to happen. This is me trying to upgrade stuff on stream or make more shorts. I sometimes have the willpower to hyper-focus and get it done. Other times when I'm tired, I just can't make something happen. And the good thing is not your job, right? And that's a good, as long as you can do it and it's enjoyable to you, and you get it into a rotation and you can figure out yourself if you don't feel like it, I think that's great. That's a healthy way to do it. I'm trying to do that with YouTube. I want a video out every week. I do. I'm trying not to make myself crazy when I don't do it, because life. I can't make life be easier. And so therefore, in that, I have to be okay with not being able to accomplish what I want to accomplish, because there are bigger fish to fry. Sonic says, sometimes the phone device does the parenting too, or holds the children so the parents don't have to do the work. Could it be due to laziness? Having others teach the kids, they could either have negative influences if they're around people networks, but also be careful they aren't groomed either. Dude, I mean, again, nuance. Like it's easy to say, don't give your kid an iPad, don't let your kid watch TV, don't give your kid a video game, don't give them any books that aren't educational books, don't let them see anything that's not perfectly good, don't let them watch any secular videos, don't, like, it's easy to say that. Easy. I defy you as a parent today to figure out how to do that and to raise a kid that doesn't become lose their marbles when they turn 17 or 18 and move out of the house. Right there, it's not that easy, right? It's not that easy to just say, my kids will never play a video game or never have any other influence in their house and no technology and won't have the internet and, they'll never see a movie. It's not that easy, especially when they're in school, in public school, seeing it elsewhere, their friends are having it and they feel like an absolute weirdo and there's a way to do it safely. Can you do it safely? That kind of stuff. Nuance matters. Does it work in reality? It's like okay, here's a bit of an example. So I worked at a mill, and the mill had something called the pocket, and then whatever. There was a section that they go and they get the trees. They put the trees on this big giant table, and the table has chains, and those chains kind of drag the logs up. They all kind of separate and they fall apart, and then they drag the logs up, and they fall into a pocket. And that within that pocket is some saw blades, and the saw blades go cut them into manageable things, send them off to the tumbler where they are washed and tumbled, and all the bark falls off, right? And then that off they go to turn into chips, so they can be turned into pulp, so they can be turned into paper. It seems good on paper, right? You take these trees and you drop them onto this big thing full of chains, and up it goes, right? Not a big deal. The trucks go by, you hit the thing, cut the little strings, they roll off, and off they go. What's the problem? Well, the problem is trees aren't cylinders. When they designed this thing, for whatever reason, they're like, trees are all going to roll even. But they don't, because they're not a cylinder. They roll funny, or they twist and they land on top of each other. They had to actually create a whole new thing, an entire job of a guy that sits there in the Captain Kirk command chair with two sticks and runs like an arm that grabs these things, picks them up, and then turns them a little bit and then puts them down so they can fall into the pocket. In a perfect world, in the mind of the engineer, it makes absolute sense that you can take these trees, drop them on this thing, and have the chains bring them up. Works in theory. Works, yeah. Problem is, most of the time, or some of the time, the tree isn't the right way. The tree doesn't fit. It's not a cylinder, and so therefore it's going to be a problem. Same thing with parenting, right? It's for the most part, yeah, that kind of is true. But sometimes your kid is a bit conical, or a lot conical. My mom loves her summer job in that she's not in charge and just follows the instructions she's given. Her main job is a manager for a school kitchen. She's a lot of decision fatigue when she's off work. Yeah, I'd imagine, right? And a lot of, it matters too. Like, there's consequences to those decisions. So that makes them even more fatiguing. Yeah. Tita says, this is why I'm glad my wife is very media literate. You don't need to worry as much what they're exposed to as long as you can contextualize it. Good parenting is important, but your children can go astray for a lot of reasons. Even parents have done everything right. I'm case in point, man. I'm actually a pretty good dad, if I do say so myself, right? And yet I had a kid that went as bad as it can go. The kid couldn't have been worse. And I got 3 other kids that are pretty good, right? Like, they've got jobs, they're successful, they've graduated school, they're doing well, they love each other and they love me, and things are going okay. But one of them went as sideways as a kid can go. That's also a factor. They're also a factor. Their personality, their penchant, their issues. Derek said, my point is, do not expect others to do your job for you. You should not expect video games to be the parent or schools to be the parent. You are supposed to be the parent. Again, too simplistic, man. What you're saying is that media will not teach them, and their media cannot teach them, and the media ought not teach them in no way, right? Well, that's just silly. Of course they're going to learn from videos, and of course they're going to learn experiences from games and from all kinds of other stuff. That's just how the world works, right? You're going to learn. Same thing with the school. You can't teach every subject from age kindergarten all the way to college, through college. You can't. You're not able. You have to have teachers in this person's life. Their spiritual teacher, their Sunday school teacher, their math teacher, their, like whatever they go into teacher. You are going to have to release them to let that person put thoughts in their brain. It's just how it works. And what you're saying is that you should never let them do that, and nobody should be able to influence your kid. That's crazy. You can try your best to make sure that the teacher is good or the school is good or whatever. But at the same time, at some point, you got to let go and give the influence of your kid over to someone else, because that's just how it goes. Even when he's old. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Over an average. Yeah. I'm not saying do not let your children play video game. The point is the video game is not the parent. You are. Do not expect video games to parent your children. But the experiences that they can have in a video game can have positive value. I agree that they shouldn't parent your children, but I think that if what you're saying is that they can't have influence over your children, they will. And it's not all bad. If you homeschooled and don't let them have media and run all the programs that they're involved in, you get accused of being a helicopter parent and sheltering them. There's no winning for parents. Well, and that also is bad. Helicopter parenting also is bad. Yeah. There's the protect your kids and make sure that they're within the boundaries of what they're able to do, but you got to let them experiment and fail and, bump into stuff, because that's part of life. At the same time, having no barriers, doing the full, wild child mode and letting them do whatever, that's also, abusive and horrible and doesn't lead to a good kid. It just means you're always there. You're always hovering. Sonic. As a parent, you should do all you can to set your kids up for success, but there will be other influences in the world, and the kids will make mistakes and exert their free will. Yep. And do the parenting right is the only thing a person is ever doing. And do the parenting right is not the only thing a person is ever doing. Yeah. We also have to go to work, and we also have to do other stuff, and we are also fallible. Yeah. Sometimes that person that you give them to is smarter and better at whatever the job is. Like the doctor. Great example, right? I have to give my kid to the doctor, and I have to say, I don't know what you're talking about, but you must be right because you're the doctor, right? At some point, I don't know what I'm talking about. I have to let that person, the expert, have a better opinion than me. I'm talking about people who do not parent their children, but expect video games. That's not where you started. Right? And your question was, did I say anything wrong? My answer was, this is why it could come across wrong. So I'm answering your question. And sometimes someone has to learn the hard way. Yeah, exactly. Simon said, I decided that if I became a parent, I'd set down my devices and go outside with my kids very regularly, maybe daily, so that not only are we both touching grass, but we're also bonding. Yeah, that's a good thing to do and a good kind of rule to have that, calm down. It's a good rule to have. Yeah. Not always possible to do daily, but it's a good thing to say, we will find time to go outside. That's a good thing. All right, have a good one, Star Blue. See you later. Second opinion, just in case. Well, yeah, I mean, you still are the primary influencer, but what I'm saying is that if your kid has an issue, right, and you're like, I don't know what the issue is, and the doctor's like, it's this. Here's some pills. It'll make it better. Okay. Like your kid comes in and they've got some issue and they got some tummy problem, and he's like, well, the issue is this. It'll get fixed if you take these. And then you either go, I'm smart. And I've known plenty of parents like this, where they say, because we were in the homeschooling group, and part of the problem with the homeschooling people is that they really do think they are smarter than everybody. Some of them really do. and their kids are having a bad time, man. Like I had parents, their kids had rashes all the time. The kids were just always not well. And the parent was like, you can't trust pharmacy, you can't trust the doctor, you can't trust anybody. Only I know. I was looking on the internet. I'm the one that knows everything. So I gave them, special kind of tea, and I made a salve off whatever, and I, got rid of the microwave, and I, like all these things. It's like, and the kid just still had a rash, and multiple, all of them, skin issues or whatever. And they eventually got to the youngest, and the youngest was really, really messed up. And they ended up having to finally go to the doctor. The doctor's like, here, put that on. And they took it home and they put it on. They're like, and yeah, it made it a little bit better. But I was really worried about the effects of it, so I stopped putting it on. Like, and their kids were perpetually always in pain because they thought they were smarter than everybody. How many homeschoolers could be on smarter than a fifth grader? Well, if it's the mom and the mom is doing the educating, and they've got to probably do pretty good. It's true about homeschoolers. My wife is part of those communities, and my sister-in-law is even deeper. Yeah, dude, it's part and parcel. It's a lack of humility. I'm not saying that all of us are super intelligent, and I'm not saying everybody's an idiot and needs, I'm just saying that there's nuance, man. Everything needs nuance. I don't think my mother-in-law fell into that, though, fortunately. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Okay. Let's do one more short. And we will, this one's especially for content creators. Give it a little bit of a watch. You'll know why I say this as soon as you hear it.
By the way, most people throw around diagnostic terms nilly-willy in ways that no trained clinician would necessarily want to endorse the application of that name to this problem. Common examples: OCD, bipolar, ADD, PTSD. A lot of people self-diagnose. I'm so OCD. I'm so ADD. Boy, I'm so upset that I really have PTSD. I'm so upset with my boss. These are well-defined constructs, and, as in any field of medicine, diagnosis is the first step to the two most important sequelae of that, which are therapeutics. What do you do about it? And prognosis. What's going to happen if you don't treat it, and what might happen if you do treat it. So, that's the sequence of how, clinicians think. That's an area of expertise. You're not in a position to say you have an alcohol addiction. Addiction is a specific concept, is a specific construct.
So I think that goes along pretty well with what we just said. I know, nilly-willy, right? Like you've lost all credibility. You said nilly-willy. I'm sorry. I don't want to listen to anything you say after you said nilly-willy. I was saying, as a parent, you have a job to do, and you cannot expect others to do your job for you. Yes, you can. That's my point. You have to. Takes a village. You can't be all things to that child. It's impossible. Also easy to be reactionary. My work picked up a job at my mother-in-law high school, and my boss said no one gets there alone. Nobody does. Exactly. Yeah. Takes a village. That's I think it's from, is it Hillary Clinton? Am I right? I don't know. I can't remember. But somebody said it takes a village to raise a child, and essentially that means it's not just one person, it's not just one parent, or not just just the parents. Like the environment of the child and all the people around the child will affect that child and how they live and how they think and how whether or not they grow up healthy or unhealthy. Like the entire village is culpable in the raising of the child. In the same way that when you go to a church and the kid is either baptized or the baby is either the baptized or the kid is confirmed, usually what the church will do is they'll have all the parents, have all the church stand up and go, and you guys have a job too, right? And then they go, yes, we do. Right? Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. What the heck is it? Oh, lovely. Crispy chicken poutine. Thank you so much. Very Canadian, very thankful. No one goes there alone. Meant the school is in the hood. Okay. Also that. All right. Yeah. But this, I think this goes along with what we were just talking about, in that, we as parents, we as people, we as streamers, we as content creators, we got to be careful when we're diagnosing in the words that we use. I am not a clinician. I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not even a psychologist. I'm a pastoral counselor. And so it behooves us to be careful about the terms that we use. As much as we want to say that we have whatever, unless you're diagnosed with it, maybe we should be a bit more careful, right? Those terms really do matter, and they can really alter someone's opinion of themselves if they start grabbing onto that thing and they're not that. Like if you think you have ADHD and you don't, right? And you go self-diagnose and you go self-medicate, it's going to be a problem. Same with OCD, PTSD, or bipolar, or BPD, or whatever it is, right? We just got to, as content creators, I think we should just be mindful of what we say and how we say it, right? That's it. That's all I'm saying. If we can model our struggles. We can talk about our struggles. We can even share our own thing. I feel like I have, or I think sometimes I have tendencies towards. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think we have to be humble in the way that we kind of say, with real definition, you have this, or you have that, or you said this, or, it's, I think mental health is a big part of what we talk about on this channel. Big part of what I think a lot of Christian content creators talk about. Big part of what I think Twitch talks about. But we just make sure that we have a humility before of the terms that we use and pronouncing things. If you probably have, just don't do that. Like you can say, you know what, it sounds like there's, got these tendencies or whatever. Have you thought about getting checked out for, or have you talked to your doctor about, or have you looked into, because it's, something you have experience with, or something that you've been through, or a family member. I think that has value. That's why they're talking to you, because you're like a friend. You know what I mean? But if just be cautious of the pronouncements you make when it comes to mental health stuff. That's what I'm saying. My music not playing? Where's my music? There it is. There's an illustration of what my mother-in-law was reacting against. Fortunately, she didn't buy into all the other stuff. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm gonna take a little break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about something a little bit more personal, and that is I talked to my guy at Dragon Roast, asking him for some feedback. Hello, good to see you. Welcome. Well, welcome. That's hello and welcome put together. Welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Deborah. Welcome. Hello. It's a bird. It's a hawk. It's Deborah's Mighty Beehive Raid. We brought honey. Oh, I hope you brought some honey. I hope it's not the honey like that company that got in trouble a little while. They those people got yelled at, man. I don't know how they're still going. I saw a commercial for them the other day, man. Like, how is honey still a thing? They clearly are bad. I'm doing okay. We're having a big conversation today. We talked about the importance of retention as opposed to just views. We talked about Mind's Eye, the game, the disaster, and how we can learn that we got to be careful to launch, when we're going to launch, not perfection, but not early either. We talked about Stellar Blade and how it's got both style and substance, and how we can learn that we probably should use both and that both have value. We talked about the myth of endless willpower, as in that willpower is a muscle, and that's why in the evening it's actually harder to do what you need to do. You know what I mean? And then we talked about stop diagnosing people. as in we as content creators have a responsibility not to be talking about, being so specific about what we think people have. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk about hard truths I learned from my sponsor when I talked to my sponsor and asked them for feedback, what they said. And so we're going to come back, talk about that a little bit. And I want to, but I was just about to step out on a break when you came in. So I don't want to take off immediately. So I want to say hello. But yeah, they're good. I think they're good topics. All natural honey. Okay, beehive honey. That's good. That's the best kind of honey. Don't think I teach my child moral because video games do. I do not teach my child the Bible because church does. Yes, you are primary, but you need others. So I think we're in agreement. So, well done. Thank you. I apologize for taking off immediately, but I'm way past a break, and I need about 10 minutes to scarf down some poutine, and then and maybe have myself come back and so give me 10 minutes. In the meantime, hit ! Do a thing to Dvoria. Okay? ! Do a thing to Dvoria, and see what happens. And also ! Web. Go sign up for my newsletter, and it should be bringing some good stuff. I just wrote an article. There actually is some new content on there. Who could have seen that coming? All right, see you guys in a bit. I don't even have the microphone pointed at me. That's how off that was. Okay, I'm gonna be super vulnerable right now. Whoop, whoop. And we're gonna talk about I asked my content creator. I asked my sponsor, Dragon Roast, to give me some feedback about how I am as a creator, like impact as a creator, like what's our relationship like and whatnot. And so he was more than willing to write out a whole thing, and I thought it would be helpful or something for me to pass it along to you guys, kind of for you to see, for me, from my perspective, mistakes that I've made, and maybe you won't make the same ones, and then that way you'd be better with your sponsors, right? So is that interesting to you? If it is interesting to you, please put an emote in the chat. If it's not, please don't do that. I guess we'll see. All right, there you go. All right, cool. At least there's a few. Even the clockbot wants to see. So I asked, basically, so I've been working with them for a little while now. Less than a year, but close. And we just finished last Thursday. We finished the very last, the 6th of 6 sessions in the Dungeons and Dragons campaign that they were sponsoring. And so we were talking back and forth. We did some stuff. We talked a little bit about things. And I thought, you know what? I want to hear from them how I did. How am I doing? Am I good? Am I good to work with? Am I rough to work with? Like, what's going on? And do you want to know? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I asked for some feedback and they gave me feedback points. So I will tell you my points. I'm not going to read you the whole note because there's no real point to. We'll get it across, and I'll tell you what my said, what my said, and then we'll kind of go through it. So feel free to ask me questions. If you don't know what's kind of happening, they're a coffee company. They are in the United States. I'm in Canada. They're in the US. The tariffs completely screwed up our relationship, like just made everything really, really difficult when it came to pricing and when it came to how the shipping would work. Like everything got worse and it was really, really difficult. And so I was trying to communicate with them, trying to ask some questions, trying to share some stuff, trying to help. And they, over a period of time, then recently I ordered a shirt from them. And it was 2XL. It showed up and it was barely a medium. I can't wear it, right? It's like skin tight and really small. And I'm like, so I said, hey, you guys, just wanted to let you know that I ordered the shirt and I can't wear it because it's way too small. Not sure if you wanted to know that, but if maybe other people order it and then send it back, and I don't know. And so their response was, so you need to know that in order to understand their response. So response number 1 said, we love your passion and vision, right? So we love your passion, we love your vision, and that's why we want to work together. So when I communicated with them the first time, I let them know why we are, what I do here, what we're doing, why we're doing it, why I care, nerd stuff, life stuff, counseling stuff, all that stuff. And then so they appreciate that. So they still want to work together. They still appreciate what I do. We still are sort of vibing together when it comes to the mission, like as in they care about people. They want to use, bridge nerd stuff with their content, which is coffee. And I want to bridge nerd stuff with my content, which is, serving content creators and building community based on that kind of stuff. We still have overlap, and we still both want to, serve and love nerds in different ways. If not for politics and shipping costs, this would have been profitable for both sides. So because of the shipping, because of the politics, because of the tariffs, because of the cross-border stuff, it actually is less profitable to work with me, right? Because nobody in Canada will order from them. When we've actually had times where Canadians have won gift cards or have won some stuff from them, and they sent it back to me. They're like, I can't order. Even from me, I get a discount from them, and crossing the border, getting it to my house, shipping it, and then paying whatever the fee is that comes on the other side of that was absolutely, it became preventative. There's a point at which, because of the tariffs and because of the shipping, because of et cetera, I was getting like 16 ounces of coffee for $120, right? That's what it would have cost me. That's how stupid it was in Canada. Whereas if United States, there's free shipping for over $50 because, it's really way better if you're in the States. So that became a problem. It's super whack. So I kept sending the messages, trying to figure it out. And I'm like, I want to drink your coffee, and because it's not fair for me. I don't think it's right for me to be drinking someone else's coffee while promoting your coffee brand, especially on your event. Like, I'm sitting here drinking like the wrong coffee, and just saying how great it is. All I'm doing is showing off your logo. I don't think that's right. I should be able to say that I've had your coffee. It's good coffee. I'm drinking your coffee. It's good. But when I try to order it, it's like super cost preventative because of where I live and because of what's happening. And so what I tried to do is I tried to be helpful. Next thing, your messages feel critical and aggressive, often loaded with ChatGPT prompts. It can feel insulting. What I was doing is I was like, so I went and I looked on ChatGPT. I went to look at, different shipping opportunities, different ways other people have done it. I talked to, looked and see how Rogue was doing it. And I'm like, okay, so I helpfully sent them a bunch of information that I put together. Like, here's what I learned and here's what I put together, and here's me looking at ChatGPT stuff, and according to this, if this happens, if you do that, maybe it'll help. What they did not see that as me helping. They saw that me as being critical, aggressive, and I didn't say the word selfish, but probably, very self-serving, in that it wasn't authentic. This person buys coffee and ships to you. So my last thing that I did is I tried what I did. I sent the package to Samus, and I asked Samus to mail it to me. It was cheaper in that it didn't get nailed with cross-border shenanigans, but it was still a lot, right? It was still a lot. It was double the price, basically, to get it to me. They took it, you saying they didn't know how to do their job, which, again, within the conversation, it was, we're still small, where we don't have the output that, say, Rogue does. We don't have access to that government thing, and I was trying to help. It was not received that way. I do this a lot, and raise your hand in chat if I've ever overwhelmed you with a lot of ideas and a lot of feedback all at once, because I got interested, I got excited, and I was trying to help, right? This has happened to probably everybody who's in the class and everybody who's in Taco. Like, it's just, I get excited and I try to help. That's what I want to do. I did a bunch of research, did a bunch of reading, did a bunch of stuff, and here, go. Here's your stuff. I'm helping. And it doesn't come across that way, right? It doesn't come, it's often, sometimes, doesn't come across as thanks for the help. It comes across as I'm trying to control them. I don't think they know what they're doing. I assume stuff that that isn't true, and I overwhelm them with things, and it makes it seem like, and it actually works against me, right? So I did that to my sponsor. I shouldn't have. Next line here. We've invested more time, special contracts, and support in you than anyone, but your code usage and engagement are low. Okay. So when I contacted them, I wrote out a bunch of stuff, right? I basically said, here's my idea. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I want to do. Here's my mission. What do you think? And they pitch back, and they're basically like, here's what, they're like, we like that. We like this. We like that. And so I negotiated. Part of it was an experiment for me to be like, can I negotiate? What is it like to try to write a negotiation thing with a sponsor? I've never done that before. And so I started doing that and came back, and then they signed it. They said it was cool and it's all good. The problem is, if I'm a problem for them, or I'm taking a lot of energy from them, or I'm sucking a lot of life out of them, but I'm not returning the profit for them, then I'm a liability, not a benefit, right? So I suck air out of the relationship by making them read a bunch of stuff they don't care about and giving them feedback they don't want. And then I ask for special treatment, right? And I'm not providing enough money. You know, I'm not worth. I'm not worth the trouble. Essentially, I'm not worth the trouble. Yeah, we're not here to encourage. We're here to encourage one another, not fix one another. Yeah, exactly. And it's a big, you know, it's something I need to learn and grow on, and I'm trying to learn and grow with. And that is, you know, you have expectations that align with creators 10 times your size. That's the last one, which is essentially, I have big ideas. That's always been me. I think in big ideas. I think in mountaintops. I think in with really, you know, kind of broad scope, professional, large. You know, if we were huge, if I was this is what I would do. Let's do that. And so that's kind of what I came at. Instead of coming in more humbly, or instead of coming in more, I guess more as a small creator, micro creator, as a little guy. I came in like I knew what I threw all of my energy and all of my research and all of my intellect and all of my experience and all of everything into it. And it was something that when you looked at it was very professional and looked like it had a lot, and they agreed to it and stuff. But at the same time, I'm small potatoes. My ideas, my communication, the way that I speak, the way that what I was talking about, my ideas were very big. And they were for people that are partners, for people that have, you know, 200, 300, 400, 500 viewers. And that's the kind of thing that they would want. And so a mistake that I made was well, I was shooting for, I want to sound professional, or I want to see if I can negotiate this thing, or try to figure out how to, you know, what's the best way to do this for me, for the community, for them. And, you know, what if we did this, you know, what would happen? What I should have done, I guess, if I look back, has been a lot less complicated and a lot less, like I presented like 6 ideas all at once. This. Maybe I should have only done like one or two and left it at that until I've earned the right to renegotiate. So I did all the negotiating and all the communication up front instead of doing it piecemeal part with, you know, kind of just getting to the bare minimum, going, hey, what's an arrangement we can have? It was too much, too fast, too soon, which is something that we talked about before. Releasing too quickly, or pushing out too quickly, or coming up with lots of ideas and just launching them out there before actually thinking through, is this the best idea? Is this, you know, is it fully cooked yet? Should I, you know, etc. So I appreciated their feedback. They were still positive. It was like, we still want to work with you. We still think there's value in this. We still think, you know, we still believe in what you do. And so therefore we do want to continue to work with you. And and that was it. And so I said to them, like, my response, I'll read you my response. It was, thank you so much for the feedback, and it's incredibly helpful to me. One of the things I've struggled with is overwhelming folks I get connected with, unsolicited help. It comes from a place where I want the other party to thrive, but it certainly can come across as critical and overwhelming, especially via text. You've certainly been the victim of this, and I need to be more careful about how and when I communicate. I also need to be mindful of my size and influence. I shouldn't act or speak like one of the big boys until I've earned the right. I really appreciate your feedback and hope to improve. And that's true. I think if someone gives you feedback, you should try taking it, man. Just try taking it. Just take it. What did you learn? Greg says, I can over-explain things and try to convey the full context at times. Yeah. You just here's all of it, you know, because you feel like if I don't tell the whole thing, maybe I'm telling mistruth or whatever. I'm trying to be extra helpful. Yeah. And so the feedback was basically, I need to be more humble in my communications with them. Recognize I am not as helpful to them as I want to be. right? Like my communication isn't helping, and my complaining isn't helping, and my code isn't being used nearly as much. I would have more leverage to say things if I was making them a bunch of money, but I'm not. I'm not that big yet. I just act big. I pretend that I'm big, and and it can come across as arrogant, right? I do love improving. I am a bit of a perfectionist, and so therefore my wiring for trying to help people communicate and teach, especially as a teacher, it all comes across as over communicating, and it overwhelms them. And my high standards and frustration with my own limitations, pushing hard even when scale doesn't justify it, right? So for me, I want to act like a big boy. I want to be perceived as I know what I'm doing because of my fear that I'm not adequate, or that people think I'm fake, or that it'll all fall apart. I'm like, I want to look pro. I want to look good. I want to, that's where all that comes from. Where we talk about, shine and polish over substance. Spending a bunch of time on looking good because I want to, but it comes from a place where I push too hard, especially when other people are involved. And because I am not that big, it doesn't justify all the effort that I'm putting in when it comes to dragging other people in. I can put the effort in myself, but as soon as I start dragging other people into my vortex of work or whatever, like or feedback, it's not fair to them because I haven't earned that right yet. Third, I mean to help, but it reads as criticism, especially via text, right? It does. It is the form of communication that I use mostly is through Discord for them. So therefore, I can write it as nice as I want. I can write it as, hey, I'm just trying to help, and here's an idea that I've had, take it or leave it. But if they're reading it and it just comes across as a big brick of text that is full of criticism and stuff like that, that's how they're going to see it. They don't hear my voice. They don't see my face. They don't hear my tone. They just take out of it whatever the text says. And if they don't know me well, right? Like, we know each other a little bit, but they're not my friends. They're not like people I'm constantly in contact with, so they only know me a little bit. And so if they normally are used to people who are critical or upset or giving them feedback that's like bad, and that's kind of the lens that they're reading it with, or that's how it's coming across, then it's not going to work in my favor. Some lessons for small creators, maybe for me and what I'm learning, is one, know your scale. Passion is good. Humility, timing, and patience matter. There are a lot of, I've talked to a lot of, hey Duck, a lot of different companies when it comes to sponsorship. And one of the things that it happens every time, especially computer companies. Hi, my name's, Al, and then I'm XtianNinja Online. I've had them interrupt me. Are you asking for a free computer? And I have to go, no, I'm not asking for a free computer. And the reason that they do that is because there are people these small creators who just want free computers. And if you go look at every single computer builder, they all say, stop asking me for a free computer. Stop asking us for a free computer. Because they just, it's arrogant and foolish. They don't have any kind of reason to give it to you. And so therefore I actually had to work extra hard to be able to have that conversation with that company, because they just assumed I was one of the many who was coming in, didn't have any influence and wanted free stuff. I'll say this, you at least follow through on the things you say you'll do. I've seen creators present like a big boy and then phone it in or ghost on collaborators, build themselves as entrepreneurs when they have no product. Yeah. I try to make sure I follow through. But probably because I'm, old and professional. Some young people tend to over assume what they can do. Your work earns influence, not expectations or volume of suggestions, right? So until I can achieve partner, until I can achieve a certain number where I can say my numbers reflect my effort, or they reflect my hopes, or they reflect what I want out of things, then I should probably keep my dang mouth shut, right? Until I can say the proof is in the analytics. The proof is in the analytics. I can't show. So here's the thing. I can't show them that I've spoken in front of hundreds of people. I can't show them that I sit on cross-national committees where my webinar or my email or my book is sent to hundreds of people, or that I sit across from people that have influence over thousands, and we have conversations, or that I'm partnered with the biggest church in friggin' like one of the biggest churches in Toronto, kind of thing. Like I can't tell them that, because they don't care. What they care about is my numbers on my channel / social media, and the conversion to how many people are buying their coffee. That's what they care about, and they should, because that's what matters. And so until I can convert my influence into sales, I should keep my mouth shut a little more. Dang, dude, computers are expensive and people think they can just give them away. Yeah, all the time. Apparently it's real. It's real. Because, and I can tell you, more than one computer provider that I've talked to said the same thing. Are you asking for a free computer? And I just have to say, I'm like, no. And it's an uphill battle. Then what are you calling for? Why are you calling? What do you expect? What are you trying to do? And if I don't have good answers, I'm calling because here's 3 reasons that aren't, I want a free computer. Here's 3 things I want to do with you that aren't, give me a free computer, right? Here's a way that we can work together. It's an uphill battle. I'm what's known as a nano influencer or micro influencer. That's a very small influencer. So I don't have a lot in my social media to demonstrate that. My influence is so much more offline, but that doesn't really matter to anybody, does it? It matters to the people that are offline. So, does that help? I don't know. Any questions about that? Any questions for me about any of this, and any of the segments today? I'm happy to talk about whatever. Now's the AMA time. Now's the conversation time. If you'd like to talk about anything. That element some content creators and influence have is wild. Yeah, legit. They get a little bit of attention, and they just assume that they should be given everything for free. It's crazy. Yeah. And like the computers especially, the markup isn't high, right? The you have to sell a lot of stuff to stay in business. It comes from a place of 1, doesn't hurt to ask, and 2, am positive I get big if someone just gives me a chance, optimism, which are both kind of positive. I would argue that yes, it does hurt you because you'll have burned that bridge. If like I can't if I talk to a person and I say, hi, I'm XtianNinja and I want a free computer or send me free stuff, or with Dragon Roast, right? If they wouldn't have made any money and all I did was criticize, and they're just like, you know what, we're done. It doesn't matter how big I get after that. They're done with me. I'm now the jerk that only gives negative feedback and doesn't provide anything. So therefore, and then, I'm positive I get big if someone just gave me a chance. What's ironic about that, and I'm just, using your thing to riff, but what's ironic about that is that most of the time, if you're able to, like, for content creators, streaming and YouTube and whatnot, you probably have enough already in order to, quote unquote, get big. It doesn't take a huge amount of technology or a new computer. What it takes is good content and consistency and trying, right? And effort. Those things are going to work a lot better. And so you can have a not great computer and still do pretty good. There have been people out there that have been huge and they grew so fast that that their computer was still garbage and they were just making content like crazy because they just, they wanted to keep pushing while the iron was hot. But they don't know that, and probably someone else told them. It doesn't hurt to ask. Yeah, it does though. It definitely does. All right. Any more comments? Any questions? Anything you guys want to talk about? Anything? I'm happy to take. until then, I don't have anything to do after this. That was all of my content. So after this, we raid out, unless we have a conversation about something, because I can't play a game. My arm is not ready for that yet. Although, you know what I kind of want to do? And we talked about this before. The guy that I follow who plays games, he just finished Death Stranding 2. He did it already. Finished it. Got to the end. And I kind of want to watch him play it. It's 23 hours long. You know, I don't want to pay for the game because I'm not going to play it. I didn't like the first one. But I'm curious enough about the story to sit and watch it. Right? How the crack is, everyone? I'm doing okay. I'm a little sore, a little tired. But other than that, I think I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? I heard you said ow, Jada. And I assume that means your leg is not great. Speaking of free stuff, my wife did a contest at the library she works at to design a new logo that offered a small cash prize. The board picked last week and decided no one wins because they didn't like any of them. Really sounds like they just wanted cheap graphic design work. Sadly, it's coming across the board. Oh, 1,000%. It's exactly what they wanted. Yep. Definitely what they wanted. And, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I think it's crazy that Twitch doesn't do that. Like, if they're going to design a new thing for whatever graphic, just do a competition. You know, contact 20 different artists and pick one. Like, people love that stuff. Fell off my bed this morning with my leg brace because I got a little jump scare from my phone alarm clock. Oh no. You okay? Hopefully the leg's okay. Can we talk a little bit more about why retention matters? Sure. Okay, I'm glad you're okay. Nope, wrong thing. I mean, actually, we can do this two different ways. So if we go to a stream summary on, speaking of retention, all right, let's go to, I don't know, we'll pick one at random here. Pick last Wednesday. And you go to here. The way that you can chart your expertise or whether or not you're doing the job you want to do, how well you're doing it, is through whether or not people are engaging and whether or not they stick around. So if I go to 20,000 art streamers out there, so it would definitely be a thing. Hey man, you know, it would be a thing, but at least you would have been doing it inside your community. I turned it off eventually, as in the alarm was going and you were still a mess. That's rough. That's rough, man. Okay, let's do just today, last 30 days. Or is it, do I get stats? Oh, there we go. Okay, so average viewers, right? So over the course of like my streaming career, we can just go all of 2025. You look at the average viewers, right? That's going to tell you whether or not people are sticking around. But your stream summary of the viewers that are on there and sticking around, that are staying, is going to tell the story of whether or not they're going to whether or not you're doing a good stream. I'll try to find a bad one because I know there is. Probably the Monday one. No, that's consistent too. I mean, I'm pretty consistent. Maybe is there a bad one? Okay, there we go. So this here, right? If you see, it's like good. 25 viewers, right? So this got good. Actually, overtime, not a single stream. Yeah. So got there. Isn't that something? And then got here. And then it started to peter out and off it went. So yeah. The retention is for me anyway, when it comes to stream stuff, is charted by your average viewers. How many people are sticking? And I would say that I have retained lurkers. If you watch this is actually really, not my favorite thing to show, but let's just go. Let's go over the last little while here. Last 2 years. And you look at average viewers. It's the same. So that tells me if I had to analyze this, I would say that in the last 2 years I've gained no new viewers, right? I've gained followers, right? I've gained 600 followers, but when it comes to average viewers, I have not gained any. It means, which tells me I've peaked. But if I go all the way back to the very beginning, I'll go back to the beginning, and then I'll go to today. It starts low, and then right, so it goes like 20, 24, 25, 26, and then stays the same, which in my opinion means that I've been able to keep people and have lurkers, but when it comes to actually growing as new viewers, it means that I'm good at retaining the ones that I have, but not getting new ones. And that is a problem, right? That's something that I'm struggling with right now. If things were going really well, right? Like you see the spike right here. Things were going really well, up, right up until around a year in, right? And then they kind of plateaued. What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to figure out how I can grow. How do I get the number up? How do I get my average up? And I think the way to do that is going to be, it's going to be doing the content that we did today. More talk, more subjects, more feedback, more et cetera, more talk radio. That's what I'm going to try, and maybe figure out a way that I can do gaming in there somewhere, but a lot more talk, a lot more Asmon Gold stuff, hopefully. But to me, the retention thing is good because it means that I've convinced people that what I do is valuable, and I've convinced people that becoming part of what I see or what they see in me is worth at least investing their internet time and paying attention to chat and stuff. But what it's not worth is sharing. The way that I see this is that I'm worthy of a view if you come and find me, and if you've already kind of invested and you know what I'm doing, but I'm not worthy of a share. In other words, you don't want to tell, my stuff isn't interesting enough for people to actually go tell other people to watch it, right? The people who like what I say or like what I do or like my sense of humor or like whatever, they'll stick around for chat, and that's good. But when it comes to them going, hey, you should show up, this is interesting, you should go watch this video, you should go watch this VOD, right? Because it's valuable. I don't have that, which means I'm not growing. That's when it comes to that. To me, that's the most important thing about talking about retention in my stream, is that I feel like I haven't grown. All I've done is retained the people that I grew 2-3 years ago, right? Yeah, it lets me, exactly. I'm not playing a game. Although when I'm off stream, I tend to use my mouse, and I'm trying to use my left hand, man. It's hard. Skip church today to see Red Dead Redemption 2 Deadwood crossover stream. Hey, man, it's Monday. That's okay. Slay Fever says, so did you say your niche, your content is niche? Yeah, it's definitely niche. Oh yeah, no question. I'm a pastoral Christian content creator who spends a lot of time talking to Christian content creators. List how many you know, right? So that's very few. I don't, the more universal stuff when it comes to Christian stuff, it's very teachy. It's very, sort of deeper. It's more complex and personal and whatnot. So if you're looking for entertainment, right, the talk stuff that I do isn't necessarily entertaining. It might be important. It might be interesting. It might be something that connects to you, but it isn't necessarily entertaining. It's not going to catch on in people wanting to go see that and laugh at it and watch it on repeat. That's just not how it operates. So I think a niche is a good thing. So like I said, my wife and I have had these conversations on and off for a while, and you bring up a lot of points that we talked about. Yeah. So that's what I think. The niche is not a bad thing. And I think that I have value in the stuff that I share. But I also think that the content, the place that I'm at on Twitch, the people that I've talked to on Twitch, and the amount of folks that are going to grow, I don't know how to get past this. I'm stuck, right? So all the Christian content creators that are out there that know about me, I've decided whether or not they're going to watch or not. And no one's going to convince them otherwise. Any new Christian content creators that are on, that are coming, we're hopefully coming into Taco, but the conversion to turning them into XtianNinja viewers isn't happening. So therefore, they're not. That doesn't make my number go up. Twitch is growing, Taco's growing, but I'm not. So what does that mean for the content? I don't know. I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck. I think I have. I can either go full into content creation and stop doing anything else that isn't that, and try to do more generic stuff that's not Christian, right? Or I can go into full Christian stuff, stop talking about content creation, and just do like kind of Christian sermon-y, talky, Sunday school, Devo stuff. I think that would focus a little bit. Or I can go into full entertainment mode and just, try to make a point here and there as I play games and I watch silly stuff and funny stuff. The way that I'm doing things right now, I don't know what needs to change when it comes to the audience wanting to share with others. I think if I keep doing this talk stuff, the way that, you talk about, we've been talking about it afterwards. We've been talking about, doing, we talked about what you said in between streams. That came from a talking stream, likely one of the ones that's like what we did today. That's going to have more. So that's why I'm hoping if I keep doing these, it'll generate more interest in other people. Be like, well, you should go watch that thing that Ninja just did, because he was talking about XYZ, which usually to me means you also have to have it on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel, right, and we go to my content, right. So 5 days ago, 4 weeks ago, this thing here, if people came and were like, oh, he's talking about that, A, it doesn't get a lot of discovery, and B, it doesn't show all of my stuff. Okay, this is kind of Devo. This is, it's kind of all over the map. Whereas if you go to my videos, right? Like you go to my videos, and you'll see from the highlights, there is multiple videos I could be doing, like this one here. I could be doing 5 videos from, well, maybe not 5, the game doesn't really count, but like I can do at least 2 or 3 videos per talk to become videos. So that's exactly what Asmongold does. If you look at his YouTube channel, you'll see 27 minutes, 1 day, 1 day, 1 day, 1 day, 1 day, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 3 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 days, 4 days. So what he does is he would take the thing that I just did, like I just did 6 different videos, technically, because I did 6 segments of content, right? True Views and Retention, Mind's Eye Disaster, Stellar Blade, The Shiny Trap, The Myth of Endless Willpower, Stop Diagnosing Yourself, Hard Truths from my sponsor. Those are all those could be videos. Cut, copy, paste, spit them out. These ones are edited a little bit because he has an editor, right? That's only 22 minutes, 18 minutes, 31 minutes. Cut out a lot of the stuff that wasn't focused, and it became its own video. That is, if I did that, if I had, if I had the time to go to do my highlights myself, and then to go put them out there, put them all, do all that stuff, chances are I'd be able to grow through discovery on YouTube. And because of the way that, even if even if I'm not as good as the others, at least by the nature of coming to the stream, you'd know what I do. But at the same time, it's not going to work if I've only got one video in the last month, right? That's not how it's going to work. So, all that to say, anybody want to edit my videos? I don't want it. It's too hard. All right. Well, sorry. You clearly said there's some sense to that. Taco isn't designed to grow a creator's numbers, but to provide depth of support for them that isn't available elsewhere. Exactly. It's not meant at any point that it was talking about, any kind of growth stuff, pushed it away. I don't want Taco to be a growth engine for my channel. That would be the opposite of what I want. If that became the thing, it would be easily be accused that I have ulterior motives. I don't want that. I want the people who come that are content creators to show up and go, this place loves me and they care about me and they want to serve me and they want me to be great. And they're not trying to steal my thunder or steal my viewers or steal my stuff. And they're not trying to just make me into one of their many viewers. I don't want that. So that's what I'm saying. It's not a bad thing that Taco's growing and I'm not. Those are supposed to be two different things. But I'd still like to grow as a channel. I just have a really I think honestly, I think that would change everything. Go through, highlight this stuff, turn it into 6 videos a day. That would probably be a big thing. That'd be big. Yeah. I think anyway. Slay says, I see 2 different Christian streams growing, one that have deeper conversations regarding the Bible and beliefs, and the others that tend to be more gaming streams that have turned into a little of both. Less so deeper conversation, more so gaming. I see viewership drop for these streamers, so that goes to show that, in my opinion, there are 2 Christian groups on Twitch, one more pure gaming and the others that have deeper, meaningful conversations. Yeah, well, that's just true of Twitch in general, right? That's just true of Twitch in general. Maybe the people that want to know what they're getting, have your niche, know your audience. Yeah. And so so just chatting, the actual category, it's 350,000 people at any given time. Right now it's 363,000 viewers are on just chatting. And then you compare that to every other. Actually, why don't we do that? Right? Because what you just said, there's some people who want to chat and some people who want to want to watch games. So okay, so right now there are 720,000 viewers on just chatting. If I go and I do by higher to low, so how long until we get to 700,000 to equal 700,000? So 1, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The top 10 games on here across the board are required total to do just chatting. So yeah, there's 2 kinds. There are people who want to come and chat, and the people who want to come and game. There are a lot more people who want to come and chat, and the people who want to game, there's only so many that they want to watch. Each of these, right? As soon as you start going down here, you're going to get less and less and less and less viewers because it gets so spread out with what people are interested in. I'd love to have the time. I wish, because Asmongold, I don't think he has a wife. I don't think he has a kid. I might be wrong. But I would love to have the time to be able to just kind of sit there, do the thing, edit, off we go. And then put them out there. I honestly think I would grow. But right now, in the season that I'm in, I don't have the ability to do that. When you look at those just chatting streams, though, it's less about chatting, maybe more talking into the void with your opinions, hoping that big stream reads your chat. So that's more parasocial. Definitely. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, if you go to the actual... where are you? If you go to just chatting, and you go by high to low, you're going to get people that are talking about subjects, right? So there you go. Asmund Gold talking about subjects, talking about, this is the opposite of him. Hassan Abi is Asmund Gold, but for the left. And he's talking about, news stuff. But when you start getting down to it, you're right. At some point, you're just there for the vibe. What'd you get, Jones? You just like, people are just watching. They're not, they won't be commenting along much, and there's no point because they can't read it. Yo! Well, if it isn't the 500K sticker for Jones, 500K R, that's a K. Sticker for Jones. Dude, thank you so much. Again, the people who are lurking on the channel are such a big deal. They're what keep Twitch alive, and no question. Like, having that kind of connected and that kind of consistent, it means worlds. Yeah, I've said this to you before. You know that Jones is a mod. He's on here all the time. We chat all the time. I'm very, very thankful. Yeah, I gotta get to the 1,000,000 points. I just need to be on here for another, 3-4 years? Yeah. That's all. I appreciate you, Jones. I really, really do. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for your help. Thank you for all of it. It's really, really cool. Very, very cool. What are you doing, Arm? Ugh. Yeah, apparently they are. I don't know what happened there. That's cool. Yeah, I'm so that's it. For me, we're talking about retention, right? It's, can you keep people's attention? Can you keep people around? But right now, I don't struggle with keeping the people around that are on here. I struggle with new people and encouraging the people that are here to share, right? So that's what I need to work on, is making my content more shareable. But if you can't keep people, whether it be on your YouTube videos or your shorts, and they're not sticking around, then you need to go look and see, what is it that I'm doing that isn't A, grabbing their attention, or B, keeping their attention. Like, some people do the shorts thing like they're just throwing stuff at the wall. I'll just do everything, all of it, doesn't really matter. But the truth is, you're going to end up with people aren't going to trust your content, right? They're going to be like, they find one good thing and they'll go watch other things. They're like, this is all nonsense, and what the heck is happening? It's because you're not putting the thought in and not putting the quality into the rest of it, right? Pirate Software just did? All right, I'm here. Why not? This one, oh, there you go.
If you're just starting your Twitch journey, how would you go about growing it? YouTube Shorts. You do not grow on Twitch by doing just Twitch.
Yep.
I think one of the biggest problems that I see a lot of people do is they try to stick to one platform rigidly, and where they're like, I am a Twitch streamer. No, you're not. You're a content creator. You make things on the internet. Make things on the rest of the internet. Put it on YouTube, put it on TikTok, put it on Twitter, put whatever the hell you can. Put all your shit everywhere. Because if one person finds your stuff and they like it, they might go to where you normally make stuff. I normally make stuff here on Twitch. Everything comes out of this, right? Copy paste the whole platforms? Yeah, 100%. Do it. If you're just starting your Twitch
The copy paste to all platforms thing, I can understand that. Especially it's easy these days, right? Because there is like every tool you have to do that kind of stuff, it'll do all of them, right? Like when I do Opus Short or Opus Pro, it sends it to everywhere. Hello, Miss Duck. Good to have you back. But yeah, I agree with him. But your content needs to be half decent. Yeah, content still has to be half decent. Like for example, if I go to his content, right? And you're like, okay, I want to watch more pirate software stuff.
If you just search your Twitch journey, how would you go about growing it? YouTube Shorts.
Right? And I go to his videos. They have to be what I expect. Right? So I go, okay, what is he? I want to watch him play a game. Okay, he plays games. I want to watch him talk about a thing. Okay, he talks about things. It's all very focused on him and what he does. Interesting stuff. His shorts are all the same, right? It's just grandpa pirate software saying grandpa stuff to the youngins, and that's good. That people need to hear that. It's just common sense for everybody, and from an expert who has a lot of experience in a lot of different things. That's a good thing, because that's why they're all the same. They all look the same. They all sound the same. They all are about the same. So therefore, you know what you're getting. The quality level is always the same. Do you have any dodgeball strategies or advice? I do not. I'm sorry. Especially not for someone with a leg that doesn't work very good. I don't think you should be playing dodgeball at all. Or if you are, get a human shield and stand behind them. Just hold onto their shirt and keep them in front of you like a meat shield and let them take all the hits. They won't like you, but at least they'll get hurt, or they'll get hit. Copy paste to all platforms is a short version, but the content works great on Twitch, doesn't work as great elsewhere. Well, it's like Instagram group people and TikTok people and Twitch people and YouTube people, they are different, right? What if they get out? Well, go find another one. Just keep hiding, just keep using meat shields in front of you until you run out of meat shields, and then at least you'll have gotten to the end. Just don't get hit with a ball in the leg, man. I do not want you to go back to the hospital. Golly. Yeah, but I think honestly, the pick your favorite sites you want to be on, like YouTube and Twitch and TikTok, and just pour it in there. You know, like if it's got an auto post to Instagram, an auto post to Blue Sky, an auto post to Twitter, go ahead. I'm currently streaming 3 different places, right? On Twitch, on YouTube, and on Twitter or X. And I am. And I'm out there. I don't need it. It's easy. It's free. I don't have to change anything. So why not? If it cost me money, I would probably not do that because it's not worth it. But right now it is. Yeah. All right. That's that. I wish I could. I wish I could. Okay, this is gonna sound terrible. Don't listen to this. But for the sake of you guys, and for the sake of like Taco, and for the sake of knowing, you know, I would love to be able to figure out, like, be able to pour into my channel what I want to pour into the channel, right? And I know this is every content creator's struggle. You know what I mean? Like it's the same. Oh, I do stream on Mondays, but not when I'm hit by bad news and crippling depression. Then I tend to take a little break, right? I feel like if I could spend, say, 3 months putting out content the way that I want to put out content, with the plan that I have, without anybody or anything getting in my way, I feel like you'd see progress, and I'd be able to go, yeah, it worked. But right now, what ends up happening is I get going, I make a plan, and then someone kicks me in the teeth, you know, and then I end up not being able to. Yeah, exactly. Atomic Potatoes got it. Have you seen the movie Dodgeball? Exactly. Okay. I'm done. I'm done. Let's raid out. Where am I? What's happening? Oh yeah, I am absolutely ready for want more stuff to talk about. So if you got some subjects, let me know. Shoot them to me and I'll do that. Birthday's on a Monday this year, but it will be your Sunday. Well, I don't stream on Sunday. That's true. That's true. There is the mess. Copy paste that wonderful little pile of awesomeness, and then and we can bring some hype somewhere else. I will copy paste it myself. And then we'll head off to, yeah, Pastor D. Why not? He's easy to do. And I will see, yes, we're out. We're out. Bye. Yeah, I gotta go. It's 'tis time. I'm tired. I will be back tomorrow by God's grace, assuming things go okay. I never know. Please do join the Discord. Please tell me more about what stuff you want to talk about. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. I might be bringing back Weird Wednesday. It just, I hate calling it Weird Thursday. It sounds wrong, but no promises. And we'll be doing something tomorrow. We'll take it right from what we did today, but with a different theme. How's that sound? All right. See you guys later.